Warning! The following episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind contains explicit language and adult content. The thoughts and opinions stated on this show are reflective of AJ Orsini, the Steve Dave, and their guests exclusively. Seriously, guys, my dada and uncle say some pretty crazy stuff. If it offends you, go be butthurt somewhere else.
Welcome to Orsini's Uncensored Minds, and now your host, AJ Orsini with Dave.
Hey. How the hell is everybody out there? It's your boy, AJ Orsini, back here again, episode 315. How about that? Kiss my grits. So, like Ricky Ricardo and the Hispanics of old, I have some splaining to do. We didn't do a show last week. Lots of shit hit the fan last week. Got caught up in a bunch of shit. Not really going to go into too much detail on the actual program, but there was a lot going on, and I had to put the kibosh on it. Had to shut it all down. But we're here this week. And I'm not alone. Don't let the question mark fool you. Dave, are you with us?
Yes.
He is here. We're here together as a tandem to do the show here today. Yeah, this has been a week for the motherfucking books. Again, I really don't want to go into too much detail, but I will say that I apologize for not making a post or anything about it. Literally just skipped it. Didn't do too much on social media at all, actually, for the last week. Not a lot of scheduling, not a lot of things going on with the channels and the social medias and the Wessets. Literally just had some things to take care of outside of all of this. But we're back now.
No, like we never left, baby.
No one's dead. Not for lack of trying, but no one's dead. You know, the time and effort was put in. I'll take a nail on that one. No one's dead yet. But we're working on it. And we're back for this week's show. Now, just because we skipped a week does not mean that I want it to let go of some of the talking points from the previous rundown that we were going to talk about last week. Because some of it is still very pertinent and important to talk about. And fun to talk about. So there's going to be a mixture of that here today. There's going to be some not so fun, probably a little bit more on the serious side topics, and then there's going to be some that are extremely fun to have because it's all going to be debating. It's all going to be going back and forth. You'll get your entertainment's worth here tonight. But a beautiful benefit to having an extra week is some of the subject matters that we're going to talk about here actually had a chance to unfold just a little bit further. I'll tell you what I mean in just a second. Let's talk about what we're going to do on the show today.
Come on, don't keep us waiting. What's going to happen on the show today?
So on the show here today, this would have been a little bit more timely last week, but there's still information coming out even today as we speak. But some real heavy shit has been going down. It started off. The news cycle of all of this started in Texas. Obviously, the Texas floods took place. There's a lot of discussion going on about that specific situation that we'll get into today. But it seems to have spread. It has seemed to have become a much bigger story, almost countrywide. We'll get into more specifics about that later on the show. Our second topic of the evening, it happened this weekend. It was Evolution 2. Now, the plan was for me to skip Saturday night's main event because I really didn't give a shit. There wasn't really much on the card that I really cared about. I didn't want to bog us down with talking about two shows. I figure I'll just skip Saturday night and go right to Evolution. And we will talk about Evolution. But there's one specific thing that has changed the course of WWE that took place on Saturday night's main event, and it ain't a retirement. Something huge happened on Saturday. We're going to talk about that. SummerSlam, right around the corner, mere weeks away at MetLife Stadium. Night one, your boy is going to be in the house, so I'm looking forward to see how this gets built up. But it's got me thinking, right? It's got me thinking about some of my favorite SummerSlam moments in WWE history, and I came up with 20. Now, we're not going to do all 20 today. Actually, the plan was to do 5 a week leading up to SummerSlam, but like I said, we skipped last week. So this week, we're just going to do the 5. We're going to do 20 through 15. Next week, 14 to 10, and then we'll do the top 10. Excuse me. How did I do that just now? Yeah, no. I spoke right. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Correct. And we'll do the remaining ones the week before. So we'll spread this out a little bit so that we don't choke up on something special that we're going to announce a little bit later regarding SummerSlam, but it should be a lot of fun. And, of course, in our main event, I kept the topics light because I feel like we're going to be doing a lot of discussing. Dave, Squid Games happened, Season 3, the finale of the story, or is it, ... question mark. That is what we're going to be discussing here on the show today. It's been a full 2 weeks since we've gotten ourselves into shit. I don't really want to waste too much more of our time, so let's go ahead and get right into our first segment.
Let's begin segment 1.
Dave, I want to ask you a question right off the bat. When you saw this one on the rundown, what were your thoughts? Like, what were you thinking of when you saw this? Like, Jesus, like, what are we really going to be getting into? Like, what were your thoughts?
About the floods?
Yeah.
I mean, I just thought we were going to, like, I wasn't, like, blown away by it. Like, it's kind of a pretty big story, so I'm not surprised.
Oh, okay. I thought you would have been surprised.
What did you expect?
That's what I'm saying. I thought you were going to be surprised by it, to be honest with you. Because, to be honest with you, every time I bring it up to somebody, I'm not getting a whole lot of interest. That's a nice way of putting it. There's not a lot of people I feel like who really give a shit about the situation because it's not exactly like a sexy, juicy, dramatic story in the sense of something happened in a negative way. There's been some negative things that happened down there, but for the most part, what we're talking about is down in Texas, and the exact location is a county down there. I had it written on this thing, and I can't. My notes are all over the place right now, so you have to excuse me. But, here it is. Still missing by the Guadalupe River. It's down by Kent County, and there was a lot of rain. So what was discussed on the news was that it was almost like a month's worth of rain in a span of, like, 8 or 9 straight hours. And I think what makes this situation so much worse is that it happened literally overnight. So it's people that were literally in bed, asleep, for the evening, being woken up by the cold chill of water hitting them on the foot or onto the bed, or whatever the case may be, and all of a sudden they wake up in like a rush, and their whole house is flooded up to the gills. There's actually videos on YouTube of camera footage, like security cams or like ring cams of houses that are by said river, and they just kind of did it like in real time. They sped it up, just how fast that water rose and then started spilling off into the sides and just causing all kinds of fucking destruction and just taking literal homes and just sending it someplace else, literally relocating full homes, vehicles. It was kind of a spectacle to watch on the whole deal. And if that would have been it alone, when people see that on the news, they go, oh, it's terribly sad. You know, you don't want to see people lose their homes. You don't want to see people lose everything that they've earned. Then you get the story of the daycare facility that really isn't all that close to the river, but it's riverside. And the river rose up, taking a chunk of the facility and some of the kids with it. There's even a story being passed around of one of the adults that were working at the facility literally risking her life trying to jump into the water to get the kids, was able to save a few but unfortunately couldn't save them all. So there's so many human elements to the whole story. You don't hear a lot about that. But there is one specific part of the story that I really did want to talk about on the show. And it's about a system called the Code Red. So one of the biggest issues of this entire scenario is there's a lot of people asking the question, why didn't we get any kind of warning, any kind of heads up, any kind of flash warning on our phones, or a phone call if for those in the area with landlines? Like, we didn't get any kind of warning at all whatsoever what was going to go on. And we later now find out, I mean, it wasn't too much later, but after the event and the water had receded, the conversation started to take place about why it wasn't there one, and it turns out that there should have been. So there were firefighters, that were at the scene of the rising river. There were some reports of the water getting high. There were reports of water damage. There were reports of people calling 911 and asking for assistance. Firefighters and police officers responded to the calls, and when they would get there, they would see this exceeding problem, and they actually have audio of a firefighter calling in to the dispatch to ask if they can send out a code red message to the residents, either to stay in their homes, or depending on the situation as it escalates, or to seek high ground. Basically, get the hell out of your homes. This is going to get bad, and your house is not going to save you. And the dispatcher was okay with the idea on paper, but apparently needed approval from some supervisor to send out the code red. They never received the approval until about 10:30 in the morning. As a matter of fact, there were people who were trapped in their homes, some of which were able to get out. There was a story of a young man who made it out of his window before his room completely flooded, and he climbed an electrical box to climb to the roof. He couldn't quite make it to the roof, but the water had receded enough to where it was still over his knees while he was on the box. Luckily, it didn't exceed over to the roof, so he's hanging off of a roof on an electrical box, surrounded by river water, as his phone notification goes off saying, hey, flash warning, be careful. So, and I love the guy in the video because he goes, yeah, no shit. Which is probably the most appropriate response I've ever seen to a situation like that ever. So, they're investigating even now why that took so long to happen, why that took so long for the system to interact and to get sent to the residents. There was the most perfect part of the video that I saw was some guy saying that he didn't understand the approval process because of the emergency nature of a code red, right? Okay, you need approval to send it out. Why? What's the worst case scenario? A false report? You have all agencies respond to a situation that's not necessary? Is that a risk you're willing to take?
It's funny you say that too, because I didn't know that happened. But I remember when we were getting some rain, my phone was exploding. Like multiple times it went off. Like my DoorDash app was going. I wasn't driving, but just in general. Right. My DoorDash is getting spammed. I'm like, bro, guys, relax. There's sun outside. Yeah. Like, chill out. And it did rain pretty hard, but not really that long. But it makes sense now. Yeah. Because they see what's going on over there, and they're like, if we get a drop of water, you're getting a fucking warning. Because we are not going, we are not going to get, so that makes sense. So dude, it was excessive. Yeah. Like, it was more than I ever remember. So this makes sense.
So I was going to save this for a little further later, but since you're sidetracking it into now, I think it fits into this conversation that we're about to have. You got the flash warning before the water came, correct? Like, it was blowing you up and all that stuff. Did you get any kind of follow-up after the fact, like while the water is here? Were there any other messages or any other emergency services stuff being texted to your phone? Or was it just that one initial, hey, be careful, it's a flash warning?
Because so for the phone one, it was one. But then there were other participants, like I said, like DoorDash and shit.
Yeah.
And then as I was driving home, there were electrical signs, like billboards and stuff that said, like there was one that said tornado warning. There was another one that said flood warning. Like the signs like changed. They went to black and they had like yellowish lettering on it that said like tornado warning. Like you would get an alert. It would say it, but like in bigger letters. So it wasn't a repeat, but it was like plastered all over the fucking place. I didn't even know the signs could do that until like recently. So,
yeah. So, okay. And just to be clear, the area, because we're talking, when I first started this conversation, I was talking about a county in Texas. But you're talking about your particular area. You live near Philly. You live on the eastern side of PA. So you had a tremendous amount of rain, and there was some flooding in your general area. And then shortly after you told me about your alerts, I think like the next day, I got alerts here in New York about flash warning, heavy rain, the whole shebang. And like you said, when I got those alerts, at best, I think it was like cloudy. There was no water anywhere. But I remembered like the day before that you had that situation with the water. So I said, okay, well, let's just, keep eyes and ears, you know what I'm saying? And it ended up raining pretty good over here. But we found out the day after that North Jersey got fucking bombarded with just all kinds of water. The videos on YouTube right now are very similar of the Texas situation. Just cars just going down the road, surfing down the fucking road and just disappearing off into the thing. What had us worried is that here in New York, in the city, we've never really had a flooding issue before. We've had rain, we've had elements before, right? The one time we had a true blue water issue where we got flooding, we've got damage by water, the whole shebang, we had it for Sandy. I personally know about 2 people who literally lost their homes in the Rockaways from damage, from, where we were in the house and then the water rose up the staircase into the second floor type shit. Where like they would get nervous. Like, I'm in the second floor now and it's still in my house. Like, it was really, really bad. We don't really get that like that. When Sandy happened, we were in the old apartment, which I would say geographically is more towards the center of Brooklyn. We're not really near a water source, so we really didn't get a lot of that. I mean, rain, some backed up plumbing, but we didn't really get the river water on our area. We live a lot closer to the water now. We live literally 15 minutes from whichever river that fucking is. Hudson or East, I can't tell. But we're very, very close. So I took that flash warning very seriously because I was just like, wait. And I think that goes into the Code Red conversation that I'm trying to have now, in the sense of, as a listener, as for those of you who are listening to us talk about it here and now, would the warning, do you believe, I'll ask you since you're on the thing with me, do you believe that at 4:30 in the morning when that firefighter said, hey, let's give these people some kinds of a heads up that this might get bad at some point, do you believe that saves more lives just off that one text message alone, or do you believe this was kind of an inevitable situation? The warning may not have
No. That alert going out would have significantly changed everything.
Well, the only reason I asked is because when I was watching, because I sent you I watched all these videos, and one of the speed up ones that I was talking about, that river rose 29 feet in 45 minutes. That means if, let's say that firefighter calls at 4:30 and the dispatch is all over it, we're going to send it out right now. Let's give it take a few minutes. Let's say 4:45, you get the alert. That's 15 minutes from when the guy called it in. That's 15 minutes into that 45 minutes. You got 30 minutes left before he gets to 30 feet. Even if you got the heads up, especially at 4 something in the morning, Like, you're frazzled. Like, you're like, oh, what the fuck? Like, where the fuck am I going to go? Where am I supposed to be? I don't know. They're putting a lot of pressure on the fact that Code Red didn't get out, and I'm not entirely sure. At that time in the morning, with everything that's going on, as fast as that shit happened, I don't know if it alleviates as many problems as people think that it does. It
doesn't hurt.
No, I want it.
Doesn't hurt.
I want it.
Unfortunately, in this argument, that matters more than what you the fuck just said. Like, that probability is like, sure, maybe you're right, but
I want it.
How many people could have survived if it did go out? Right? Like, especially in those eras where it went really, really fast, that could have been, and I know, like, doing these statistics kind of suck, but that could have been the difference of 5, 10 of those little kids' lives.
Yeah.
If they had that, and they're so close. Remember, like, for me, I'm nowhere near water. So when I get that alert, it's not quite on the top of my brain. But if I'm sleeping right next to a river, I might take it seriously.
On the off chance, let's go to Walmart real quick and just get away from the house for just a hot minute.
Yeah. And trust me, it's the world of difference. Like, the moment they called it in, the moment they say, okay, boom, they hit the button, everybody gets the alert. That shit is mad loud. You wake up, it frazzles you. You rub your eyes. You're like, oh my goodness, warning. And then you look outside, and it's just like, that's another thing you got to take into consideration too. I'm at work. I'm about to leave. I get the warning. It's not raining yet, but where my wife is, it's raining. And she said it's raining really hard. So now I'm anticipating it. I see it. I have a lot of time to fucking react. But how fast does fight or flight come in when you hear that fucking screeching noise in your phone?
Yeah.
You open your eyes, you're like, rainstorm, and you hear it, you look out the window, like, oh, fuck, it's pouring, dude. It feels intense. You stand up, you look out the window and go, oh, shit, my front door is covered by water. Maybe I should do something.
Yeah. Maybe I should take action.
That adrenaline rush is a lot different from the second story versus my story. So,
I got a follow-up I want to ask you. I got a follow-up now because I think you just raised a very good point. You just said 2 seconds ago, you're not actually by a body of water. So your initial reaction was, okay, well, I'm glad I got the warning, but we'll see what happens. And then you gave a scenario where if you are by water and you get the thing, you might want to take action. I think that's why I asked the question about the warning. Because, like, for instance, right, the bigger conversation we're really having is this current climate change situation, right? I just found out recently, I don't know if anybody out there knows this, I found out from scientists, because I watch documentaries all goddamn day. Tornado Alley, that general area that cuts down the Midwest, Oklahoma, eastern part of Texas, that kind of stuff, down in Louisiana, that territory of area where tornadoes constantly form, that some bitch has moved. It's cutting down towards Alabama and shit. Like, it's adjusted itself closer to the east. Mm-hmm. And you guys in PA got a tornado warning, which is for some reason starting to becoming a little bit more common, and to the point where you guys PA got the tornado warning, but I got the text message for it too, up here in New York. Mm-hmm. They were like, look, listen, just so you know, your neighboring state's about to get his ass kicked. So on the off chance some bitch shifts, just be ready. So my follow-up question is this. I feel like if you're in an area like Tornado Alley, you live in this area, you know this shit could happen, your phone starts going off at 4 a.m, and you see tornado warning, I feel like you're going to act.
Taking that shit seriously?
Yeah, I feel like you're going to act almost immediately. But if you don't live north, like for instance, I'm in New York. If I get a buzz that PA is going to get a fucking tornado, I'm not thinking twice about that shit. But I'm getting it for a reason. It could shift. Something could happen where that situation that caused that tornado could happen here. But since I'm not used to reacting to situations like that, I just might drag ass. Because I just remember, like, all right, we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, like, I think you need to be prone to the situation. You need to be accustomed to the idea that anything could fucking happen.
And to the neighboring states comment, I mean, what if, like, for instance, you might, let's say you get the warning and you're like, oh shit, PA tornado warning, and then you hit me up, you're like, yo, tornado warning, that's crazy, right? And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? They're like, oh, you didn't get the tornado warnings? Like, no, my phone's dead. Or whatever the fuck it was. Like, if it went out, it was dead, now it's charged, whatever, right? Like, I may be in the area and for whatever reason didn't get the message. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then you're hitting me up, checking up on me, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? So I Google it, or it's raining. I'm like, oh, is it really that fucking bad? And you know how those conversations go? Yeah, it's on the news and yada yada. So that might, you know what I mean? So like, if you let the people know around, even if they may not be in the splash area, it could also raise alert for people that you may know that's there. All I know is that message not going out fucked a lot of people, and I don't care what your theory is. That's it, dude.
No,
That's
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Not you specifically.
I want the
general.
warning. I want that warning ASAP. Let me decide how much ass I'm dragging on that situation. Like, I feel like you could wipe your hands clean of it if you let everybody know equally and promptly, and then they make their decisions moving forward.
Like, the approval should have been the whatever you call the leader, the captain, whatever of the firefighter called it. That should have been the approval.
That should have been the approval. Yeah.
So the guy assessing, say, hey, sergeant, captain, whatever the fuck the hierarchy of firefighting is,
captain.
We got a serious situation. We need a code red. You need a code red. Ask his qualifying questions. Okay, he sends the message. It goes out.
Yeah, because if he's wrong, he's got to deal with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't have to go any higher than that. The word, like you said, the worst that can happen is you become a meme. But at least nobody's dead.
Yeah. At least
right? They're going to make fun of you.
Yeah.
But nobody's dead.
They're going to roast you, but at least you're
getting cooked. But.
Yeah. But you saved as many lives as you could. You know, and I mean this in all sincerity when I say this. This was a natural disaster. It wasn't like the police department or the fire department or the dispatch service tried to purposely fuck anyone. They just didn't respond in the way that I think people feel like they really should have. To send that message out, I think that's the more disrespectful part. If you didn't get ahead of it, that's one thing. But to be in the middle of it and then send it, I think is like the most ridiculous thing ever. Like, imagine being knee-deep in your personal belongings with mud and your house being towed away down a river into God knows where, and then your phone goes, hey, be careful, it's going to rain. And you're like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Yeah, no kidding, it's going to rain. Jesus Christ. But yeah, there's they're saying it's the death count right now is well over 100. There's campers missing, there's homes missing, there's vehicles missing. They have a number of individuals missing that they haven't pronounced dead. The numbers of dead is because they literally have the bodies. We know these are dead. So they have a number of people that are also missing. So we have a chance maybe of locating some of those individuals. And we have another thing with the climate change deal. We have the situation with Texas with the large amount of rain. The Northeast, as we explained, got hit with it. PA, New Jersey, New York, all got hit with torrential rain. But another little known fact: 6 active volcanoes in the last 2 or 3 weeks. 6. I had a rundown sheet not that long ago where we had the first volcano on it. Remember? We were gonna talk about it here on the show. For whatever reason, we dropped it. It was probably for a subject that needed our attention more. But since that one, there's been 6. So this is is anybody keeping track of this shit? I know that there's professionals out there, climatologists and stuff, geologists. Everyone's getting together and trying to figure out the mood swings of this planet. But there's a lot of moving pieces right now going on. And my wife devastated me with this one. She was just like, have you been around this goddamn city? One earthquake, one tornado, one true blue hurricane, it all goes away. This city is like, I feel like this city is being held together by spit and glue. You guys got to see the YouTube videos of every time it rains hard, our subway system is the one that gets it. People were swimming to get to the train. And the train was still operating. They had to stop it at some point because it was getting to be too much water.
It's crazy work that people still hopping on the like.
They gotta get home.
I'm running upstairs. Y'all crazy. Bro.
They trying to get home. I get it. I wouldn't want to run the risk of getting stuck in the tunnel. Like, you know what I mean? Like if it gets really fucking high and to the point where it starts choking up train mechanics. But there were people literally on the train. The train got to the station. The door opened and the water poured into the train. And they stood on their seats like, yo, close the door. He's like, nigga, no, get off.
Yo, New Yorkers are crazy, bro.
Get off. Don't do that. No, Jesus, yeah. So definitely want to send out condolences to the families. Definitely want to, I'll probably going to look it up a little bit more. I probably won't bring it back to the show unless something really crazy happens. But I definitely want to keep up on it because I want to see how this whole Code Red thing really pans out. I want to see what happens because there's this one guy, I forgot what his rank was, but he was very adamant that he wants to know exactly what fucking happened here and why that Code Red wasn't sent out, and wants to see how they can. I'm glad to see somebody sitting there going, no, we have to fix this. This is a very, very big problem. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate finally someone going, instead of going, well, you know, we'll investigate, we'll see what happens. He's like, no, I'm going to find this motherfucker, and I'm going to figure out what the fuck went wrong, and then we're going to fix it right now, because it can't fucking happen like that. So we'll see. We sat here and we talked about the LA fires, and we had a very spirited conversation about that. I figure I'd bring this one up, so that's the take.
Yeah.
So, that's our more serious topic. We'll get into more fun stuff, but I just wanted to say my piece there. Condolences again to the family, but we're going to go ahead and move on to the next topic.
Next up, segment 2.
We've done quite a few segments leading up to Evolution. I feel like we talked about Evolution more than WWE talked about Evolution. That was actually one of my posts during the course of the show because I kept saying to myself, man, imagine if they would have actually promoted this. How many more people, how many more seats would have been full, how many more buy rates we could have gotten out of this pay-per-view. But before we get into Evolution, which was going to be the bulk of this conversation, we do need to talk about one thing that happened in Saturday Night Main Event. Not much did happen of any value, but this was. And I know people are going to say, yes, Goldberg retired. No, fuck all that. Goldberg's been retired. He didn't just retire on Saturday. He hasn't wrestled a full schedule in fucking a decade and a half. 2 decades almost. What was that, 05? No, 03 is when he had his run. He's been retired for 20 years. I've never seen anyone retire for 20 years and then have a retirement match. It doesn't correlate. So that's not the story, although that match was affected by the real story. And the story being Seth Rollins. It happened again. The injury bug has bit this bitch on the ass yet again. That goddamn knee did it again. That goddamn knee is out again. Now, you and I sung this man's praises when he took his knee out and he took his back out and still managed to get to WrestleMania and play a tremendous part in both nights. We referred to him as the MVP of that specific WrestleMania. He gets through the tag match. He gets through the singles match with Drew. He's able to put the Shield gear on at the end of the pay-per-view to get Cody the big win. He was the MVP. Seth Rollins coming through, sucking it up, and being the boss that he is. We have another injury now, and while I'll give him credit for having the balls to get up, change the finish, give this guy a win, straight up BFT. He didn't want the match to be called off like some pussy shit. He's no. I might as well just take the L. He gets beat. Imagine blowing your knee out and then stand up to take a front bump. Yikes. I'm good. But he's more man than most. Took the bump, and now he's down, and he's out. So, why is that big news? Well, for those of you who watched the rest of that show, Seth Rollins' knee injury happened about an hour and 20 minutes into the show. We had 40 minutes of show left. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Goldberg's resume. Goldberg don't do no goddamn 40 minutes. That's not what Goldberg do, baby. That's not what old Billy Boy gets down with. So they tried to buy some time. Super fight style, commercials, advertisements. Who's going to win? Get all the hubbub. Extra long entrances. Take your time going down the aisle. And they had Goldberg and Gunther went out there. Classic wrestling match. Goldberg literally went out there on one leg. During his entrance, he's limping. I said, this match doesn't even need to happen, bro. Seriously. Doesn't even need to happen. But it did. And Gunther pulled a Houdini and got something out of it. It wasn't a complete wash, but it was what it was. Now, there's a lot of people online with the scuttlebutt saying that Seth's injury changed the finish of that Goldberg-Gunther matchup. There was a lot of talk and a lot of conversation that Goldberg was going to win that title, followed by an immediate cash-in by Seth. That would have put the belt back on Seth and cleared the path for a Seth Rollins CM Punk world title match for SummerSlam. So obviously this knee injury fucked the whole thing up. They decided not to put the belt on Goldberg, keep it on Gunther. Goldberg gets a decent match, but he gets beat. And then Goldberg goes to SummerSlam, and they found a way last night on Raw to get him a number one contender, which still is CM Punk. So we're going to be getting CM Punk and Gunther at SummerSlam. Now, they also wanted to address the fact on Monday that Seth is the Money in the Bank holder, and he has until June of next year to use said Money in the Bank contract. So he does have time if, and this is the question we have to now answer, if he comes back at all. Because now the big question is this it? Was that it? Because we've been making jokes on the show for years that he's got bad knees, he's got the bad back. This is the second time now, same leg, and he's getting surgery.
Unironically, one of the videos you sent me, they were working that knee.
Yep.
What year was that, by the way?
That was, let me take a quick look at the... I sent you a Seth Rollins? I did.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see... Oh, yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to see now. I'm trying to remind myself of what it was that I sent you.
It was...
Was that a text or...
No, it was in the breakdown. It was one of your SummerSlam matches.
Oh, yes.
That's the irony. You're ruining the irony
of the Finn Balor Seth Rollins situation.
Yes.
Yeah, that was when when Balor took the buckle bomb into the fucking barricade and Finn's whole shoulder came out.
Yep, he took that bump like a McAsshole. We'll get there.
Yes, he did. He admits to that. It was his fuck up, but give the man credit. He still wrestled 20 more minutes with that bad fucking shoulder.
He did.
So he's a man's man as well. But we're talking the possibility now. And when I say we, I'm really just saying me. Because in all honesty, this has to be either career-ending or definitely a career-shortening surgery. He's out of SummerSlam, regardless of how this surgery goes. That's a done deal. He's probably going to be out of Survivor Series, and you and I and my wife all had the conversation after WrestleMania 40 when I think it was you. I can go back to the show, but I think it was you who was like, all right, he did everything he was supposed to do at WrestleMania and was like, okay, vacation time. I'll see you.
I was just about to say he came back way. They all did.
Yeah. No, but we said
They should be coming back now.
Yeah. We said it. We said it when he came back. We said, "Oh, this is way too soon." I don't even know the severity of the injury, but this is way too soon. There's no fucking way. And I'm not saying that we were right, and I'm not saying that we were wrong, but this doesn't help the case because it's down. It's down and out again, and as many times as his legs have been injured, his back is worse than his fucking legs. They were bringing up Seth Rollins' wrestling record, not his wins-loss, but how many matches that he's had throughout the course of the last few years. During his peak on top, he's wrestling over 200 matches a year, and the last 2 years, he's only had like 13 matches for the whole year. So he's already on a part-time schedule, and yet still, it wasn't enough to protect the leg. So we're going to talk about SummerSlam in a little bit, some of my memories, but we're also going to have a nice little announcement toward the end of the show. And when I do that, this Seth Rollins thing affects everything. And I feel like even if he does come back, even if it's 100%, should we even be wrapping him around the main events anymore? Because look at what's happening now. Now we have to reshuffle everything. And the person who's probably going to be eating a lot of this, unfortunately, Jey Uso's going to have to take a hit now. Because it was supposed to be Punk in that spot. So Punk's got his spot. But Gunther, who made out of this like a bandit, he's the champion again. Great. Now we have to have the conversation. Was the idea for Seth and Punk to happen and Seth retain? Was it to give Punk the belt? Do we give the belt from Gunther to Punk now? There's a lot of conversation that has to take place. We won't do it now, but it's just all up in the air at this moment. So that's the Seth Rollins situation with the leg. He was supposed to he injured it on Saturday. They wanted him to go get the surgery or at least be seen by the doctor. They're in Atlanta, Georgia for the pay-per-view. Their doctor is I believe it's in Alabama, if not Georgia, one of those states. So he was already close by. He refused to leave Atlanta because he wanted to watch his wife perform on Sunday, which we're going to talk about in a second, and then go get the surgery. So as of Monday, he's been seen by the doctors, and I guess we'll get more of an injury update, and we'll talk about it on the show when we have a much clearer vision of what's going to happen with Seth Rollins. But we're here to talk about Evolution now. Now, Evolution took place, same building, and I'm going to say this right off the bat before we even get into the matches. I did not like the fact at all that I noticed right away they didn't change any of the setup. They didn't change any of the look or vibe of the building from Saturday Night Main Event. They left the railings out, screen setups, everything was exactly the same for Saturday Night Main Event. That's how little they gave a shit about this pay-per-view. They didn't try at all to make this thing feel like its own thing, its own pay-per-view. It was just Saturday Night Main Event Part 2 plus women. That's all that it really was. And so they tried everything they could to get me out of this pay-per-view very, very early on. They really did not want me to give a shit about this show. But try as they might, I still did. In spite of the fact that it opened up with a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch defending against Bayley and against everyone's least favorite bird lady, Lyra Valkyria.
So I have a confession to make.
Oh, here we go. I'm ready for it. Go ahead, hit me with it.
I missed 3 of these matches.
Okay. And
I didn't. So here's the thing.
Okay.
I didn't know I did because I thought I was right on time, and then I got to the end of it, and it felt like a good length, so I didn't even question. So I jumped in at
8.
Trish.
Yes. Okay. So you thought the show started at 8?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. And it started at 7. That was the issue.
So
Okay.
it wasn't even necessarily about time. That's just when I got there, and it was doing a promo because my buddies were watching, so I jumped into the stream, and it was doing a promo, and it jumped into their match. So I'm like, oh, all right, whatever, just caught it. Like, let's go, and it went for a decent length, like the show. So when I saw the last match, I'm like, ugh, I'm going to bed. I'm glad I caught it.
All done with that.
Yeah, a few days later, I look at this. I'm like, what the fuck are these matches? So anything before Trish.
Okay.
And
so we're
Tiffany, I did not see, but feel free to spoil it.
So 10. Let me see. 10, 10, and 16. You missed 36 minutes of action.
Becky,
yes,
Jane, and then what was the Judgment Day match?
Yes. So,
God damn.
So the Triple Threat Intercontinental Championship match opened the show, which I thought initially was a bad idea because this is one of the few matches that had a story. So like, damn, there's so many other hot matches that you could probably start to show off with. But now I understand why. Seth was there, didn't want to leave without his wife. His wife had to perform, so they probably said, fuck it, she'll go on first, and then you guys do what you got to do. I put that together. All right, fine. But I ended up eating sour grapes. Now, this is not a Matt classic by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought this was a decent match. Definitely adding Bayley, because I didn't like Becky and Lyra alone. Adding Bayley, for whatever reason, added a little something to this. I got a little bit more into the match. Lyra is Lyra. She hits all the moves. She does everything she's supposed to do. It's Becky, it's Bayley in a cardboard box. I don't know, and the cardboard box can do a sunset flip.
You're gonna come around. Mark my words, dude. I don't know how long it's going to take, but you're going to come around, dude. You're going to be a Lyra fan
I don't
someday,
think
dude.
she's a bad wrestler. That's the thing about it.
Her, dude. You fucking hate her.
Nothing. I don't hate her. It's just
you hate her.
Nothing interesting about her at all whatsoever.
Let me tell anyone and everyone who's listening right now. If this dude don't like it, he fucking hates it. Don't let him pull the wool over your eyes, dude.
Oh, my God. Yeah, but I'm actually trying to give her credit here. She didn't do anything that upset me here. None of them did, actually. This was a really good, well-put-together triple threat match. It was a good start for the show. Crowd was into it. I will make a strong argument that this specific crowd, the kind of crowd that would pay money to see an all-women pay-per-view, was into it. Like, almost every match, I could point to a section where the crowd was just losing its shit. So it was a good crowd for this particular setup. So that was the triple threat match. Becky defeated both of them. She pinned Bayley with this really awesome pin. I've never seen a pin like this in my life. It was like some sort of it was like an arm lock thing where she backslided Bayley. You got to go back and see it. It's fucking crazy. And I'm glad it was the finish. Like, she pulled this crazy pin out, and it actually worked and beat Bayley, which was pretty cool. The second matchup on the card, which led, and this is my problem. This is my problem with NXT. When we did NXT Black and Gold, those people, the roster for Black and Gold was notorious and famous enough, had enough exposure to people to where even if you were a casual, you didn't know who a Kevin Owens was. You didn't know who a Sami Zayn was. But if you were a really into it wrestling fan, really tapped into it, then you knew who these people were. So you would get some sort of reaction. You would get some sort of excitement from people. And then it would just be infectious. The building would just catch on. Right? But this second match had the NXT Women's Championship match. It's JC Jane, accompanied to the ring by Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix, against Jordynne Grace with Blake Monroe, formerly AEW's Mariah May. And it was a one-on-one matchup. And this was a match that I called to the T in the first 10 seconds. To the point where I said what I had to say, And then I walked off, and I went to the kitchen, and I was doing a bunch of shit in the kitchen. I can still hear it, but I'm doing a bunch of shit in the kitchen, and something happened, and my wife goes, "Get the fuck out of here." And then I heard the bell, and I came back, and I said, "What happened?" She goes, "Did you see this match already?" I said, "No, we're live. I haven't seen it yet. They're wrestling right now." And I said, "What happened?" And she told me what happened, and it was exactly what I said. None of it made any sense, so I tried to make it make sense in my head, and when I did that, that's exactly what they did, which was JC Jane is the heels, is part of the heel group. What do they call it? Fatal Attraction or whatever they call themselves. And she's the champ. They're the heels. Jordynne Grace is the babyface. And for whatever reason, Blake Monroe, who spent 75% of her AEW career as a heel, comes to NXT and she's getting cheered out of the building. So she's now a babyface. And her and Jordynne Grace have been talking on the show recently. So we get to the pay-per-view, I guess, and Jordan is like, "Hey, I think it would be really cool if you came out with me, neutralize the numbers game, because JC's got 2 people. I don't really know 2 people, but I do know you, so maybe you can help me out." She was like, "All right, cool, sure, no problem. I'll go out there and I'll help you." So Jordan does her entrance. Blake comes out with her, and they're all ringside. JC and Jordan are having their match, and Blake's true to her word. She's trying to negate the numbers game. She's beating up the girls that were on the outside. And and what I had told my wife, I said, Blake Monroe has no business being a babyface. She's going to be a heel, and I feel like she's going to turn heel tonight. Jordan and JC are going to have their match. Jordan's going to get close to winning. Blake's going to fuck her. JC is going to win. It's going to set up Jordan and Blake for a program. It gets JC a big win on Evolution so she can continue this experimental run. That's all I said. When it went down, Blake attacks, I think it was Jasmine, that she hit with a fucking forearm. Oh, I forgot this. Jasmine had the belt, like she was going to hit Jordan behind the referee's back. Blake hits Jasmine, grabs the belt, and starts looking at the belt, and I went, up, there it is. And sure enough, there's a spot in the ring. Jordan gets close to the ropes, and fucking Blake knocks her with the fucking belt. She takes the bump back. JC hits her with a move, beats her 1, 2, 3. Exactly as I called it. Because this was all set up in a weird way. None of this shit matches. Now it matches. They had to make it match and make it make sense throughout the course of the match. I was like, oh, okay, there it is. There's the heel turn. So no surprise, no effect. It was just course correction. She came in from AEW, so she got a big pop, and people were excited to see her there, but the real money in Blake is her as a heel. They needed a reason to turn her heel. They found one. That's the whole point of this match. 10 minutes, 30 seconds. It was just a regular NXT match. And I brought up that earlier analogy because JC comes out, and even Jordan comes out, and it didn't seem like anybody gave a fuck. There was no commotion. There wasn't much of a real reaction. I think people were, for the people who knew, they knew, but there wasn't enough of them. It was just people who were just like, all right, another cool match. We'll try to get it. And they got them. It wasn't like they stayed silent the whole match. Like I said, this crowd was hot for fucking everybody. But initially, they didn't fucking know. And they popped for the turn at the end. I guess they figured, oh, no, not her friend. They felt bad for her. But JC retains. And then the next match, a fatal 4-way tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. I know that you said you missed this. If you get a chance, you probably should try this one. Sit down with this one. This one was pretty fucking good. The Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez defend against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, Sol Roca and Zarya, and the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. And this one was fun. This was fun. Everybody got a turn. There's 8 women in the ring, and it never felt like there was 8 women in the ring.
The one thing I did hear, and you can tell me if it was true or not, but my buddy told me that they're starting to come around on Flair a little bit.
Oh!
He said he felt like she was getting a lot of
positive
feedback this match.
So let me explain that to people, because I've heard a lot of scuttlebutt about that. So Charlotte is currently doing what I have been referring to for the last few weeks, because this has been going on for a few weeks now. Charlotte right now is going through what I call super white meat babyface Charlotte mode. She is doing all of the old school white meat babyface tricks. The smiling, the high-fiving, the hugging. She's hugging people. She's kissing babies. She's shaking hands. She's respecting people. She's not cursing at anybody on the microphone. She's not trying to be edgy.
She's visually humbling herself.
Oh, she is a fucking saint right now. She has illuminescent wings behind her.
Oh my god!
A halo over her head. So I don't know if you saw the SmackDown where Charlotte and Alexa won their qualifier to get into this thing. Mm-hmm. So Alexa and Charlotte have a big history of hating each other, both personally and professionally. And on screen, Alexa's called her a bitch in the past. Charlotte's called her a midget. They've gone back and forth a few fucking times. But the babyface thing that I'm talking about with Charlotte is that Charlotte has completely, on camera anyway, she's turned herself all the way around. She is supporting Alexa. Alexa, you go girl. You are a queen. Don't let anyone tell you any fucking different. And they actually look really, really good together as a team. And then in this particular match, when Charlotte came out, because she's been doing the babyface thing for a few weeks now, she got a pretty decent pop for it. And then she gets in the ring, and they're doing this thing where Charlotte does her pose, and then Alexa jumps in front of her and does her pose. And then they look at each other like, okay, bitch, okay, all right. And they start looking at her, and then Charlotte does her whole flippy thing, and then she slides into the ring, and she does her whole deal, and then Alexa does her deal, and they're just trying to one-up each other. And you can hear Charlotte, don't worry about it. I got you, Alexa. Don't you worry about it. I got you. That's what she kept telling her. So there's a spot later towards the finish where Zarya, who's like the big muscle chick from NXT, and the surfer chick, Sol Roca, they're getting heat on Alexa. And Sol holds up Alexa for Zarya to spear. And Zarya goes for the spear. Charlotte dives in front of Alexa and snatches her out of the way, and Zarya spears her partner, Sol. So they're staring at each other like, what the fuck just happened? And the camera pans to Charlotte and Alexa, and it is hilarious because Charlotte's in the turnbuckle. Alexa has this face. You know that face when you almost got hit by a car? And then you suddenly just move, so you're breathing hard? And you're like, what the fuck? Like, her eyes are wide open. She's like, what the hell just happened? And she looks up, and Charlotte looks her dead in the face and goes, I got you. I got you. Don't worry about it. It's super white meat babyface Charlotte. It's the best fucking thing she's ever done. This thing is hilarious. And it's so funny because it's so overtly cheesy, and yet people are digging it. They're digging it. It's different. She's never been, even when she was a babyface in the past, she was kind of a cunt, right? She was always kind of edgy, kind of pushing it, slightly shoot, slightly work. But she's been doing that for so long. Now, in my opinion, she's in full work mode, and it's just thumbs up. It's hugs. Working. Yeah, she's just like, I love everybody. It's like, how could you? Oh, and it doesn't hurt at all that this whole thing started. Right when she did that, she did a blog or some sort of post somewhere about how she feels that wrestling treats women when they get older. There was this thing that she put out there about, the main event right now was between all these guys who are like in their 40s and 50s, and I'm not even at that age yet. I'm still younger than those guys, but I'm considered like this old lady now in wrestling, and it's this weird thing. So I think she started getting some support from the women on that side, and then she did the Undertaker podcast where she came across like really cool. Like, she was just saying a bunch of different cool stories. She started becoming a little bit more likable, and then all of a sudden on camera now she's this big super ooper duper baby face, and the people are fucking digging it. So we'll see. We'll see. To go from one of the most hated and vile disrespected fucking superstars in WWE to one of the most liked would be a hell of a jump. So we'll see.
But sometimes it's just that easy, man. Sometimes it's like it's right in front of you. Again, I don't know if this is a personality change. I don't know if this is all a setup for a big turn. Whatever the case it is, but it's an example of it's right. Sometimes it's just right in front of you. They are booing you not because of the gimmick, it's because they hate your soul. And sure, in this business, you can flip that as something good. But sometimes the hate is actual hate.
Yeah.
Like what's going on with John Cena, his whole charisma, that's like love hate.
Yeah.
Like, fuck this guy.
They have a term for that. They have a term for that in wrestling. It's X-Pac heat. It's go away heat. We don't love you.
It's real.
We don't love you. We don't hate you. We don't want to watch you.
I feel it with Becky.
Yeah, Becky has it now. Becky has it now. Becky is Charlotte now. They flopped because now Becky's looked at like this uncontrolled and wild and untamed cunt that is just seemingly better than everyone else and blah 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 blah. They were trying to paint Bayley like that, and everyone went, "No, don't do that. It's Bayley."
I don't know, and this is probably unfair, but I just feel like overall, like women in general just have like an overall cap with the amount of ego you're allowed to have.
Oh yeah,
like you can't break the ceiling of ego and just be like, I'm that shit, and you're like, all right, I can't. All right, listen, I don't like you, but you kind of are that shit. I feel like, and this could be unfortunate depending on how you look at it, I feel like women, you have a certain amount of ego you can reach, and once you surpass it, it doesn't matter how good you are. I don't give a fuck. Like I hate you. I don't like you. So maybe they're testing those waters or something like that. That's cool to see that you can turn it, because I felt like she was at a level where people were just fucking over
nuclear heat.
So so to hear she's like putting in even if it's fake, to put in the work to like experiment with it and see it, it's cool to hear. I gotta catch up. Well, it's been a pretty brutal few weeks for me. So
same here. But I don't. You know what's so funny? I genuinely don't think it's fake. You know what I think is fake?
I hope not.
You know what I think is fake? Not for nothing. I felt like the cunt stuff was fake. When she was being a bitch on purpose, I felt like that was fake.
You think it was kind of living up to the expectation of daddy?
It's the old chip on the shoulder thing where it's like, if I don't come across like a badass, they're not going to fucking respect me, so I got to So she just overdid everything. And everyone
she comes from a legacy, so that it makes sense.
Is there a professional wrestler on earth who had a bigger shadow than her?
Oh, absolutely not.
No, exactly. So, and then you live your whole life, no matter how hard you do work at it, you spend your whole professional career being told that the only reason you have that job is because of him. No matter how many championships you win, no matter how many 5-star matches you have, she's only here because she's Ric Flair's daughter. I have that conversation online with people all the time. Well, the only reason Nia Jax's here because of The Rock, or the only reason why the Usos are here because of Rikishi. You know the percentage of wrestlers who had kids and then they became stars is very fucking small. You know how many wrestlers had kids, came into the business, and were so garbage they had to get kicked out? That shit's not given to anybody. You might be given an opportunity, but you gotta fucking rise. You know the person you don't hear that shit about anymore, ever, it never comes up? Randy Orton. You never hear it anymore. In the beginning, yes, obviously. And it was true. He didn't do any indies, it was straight to WWE. But it's Randy Orton now. No one gives a shit about any of that anymore.
Yeah.
So, our next match Raquel and Roxanne, by the way, retained their championships. Our next match brings you into the fold as Tiffany Stratton defends the WWE Women's Championship against Trish Stratus. And I don't need to see Trish Stratus ever again.
You stepped on my raspberry, and I don't like that.
No, I didn't. No, I did not. I actually, in all fairness, I feel like your raspberry set me up for what I was about to say. because I had that in my head to say, and then you raspberried, and I felt like those two fit together very, very well. You raspberried, and then I said, I never need to see this bitch ever again. So it kind of, in my opinion, it kind of goes hand in hand. But yes, this was the first match you saw. Which sucks, because 2 out of the last 3...
No, it doesn't suck. It was amazing, because I was like, yes, I got here right on time to get this shit done over with early.
No,
so
it does
I
suck,
go
because
to the rest of the show.
2 out of 3 of those matches before that were really good. And then
Well,
you come into...
in hindsight,
I know,
thought I was at the start, so
I
I didn't know.
I know. I just, me knowing now, I'm like, damn, I think you would have had a different vibe.
Overall look, maybe.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're not... Do we really need to divulge into... This was 8 minutes of just, I don't know what the fuck. How did we get here? Why are we here? How do we not get here again in the future? That's
People
my main
love
question.
Tiffany, so I'm going to lay off for her.
Lay off why? What did you see?
Well, I didn't see nothing.
You said, people.
I'm not saying,
you said people like her, so I'm going to lay off.
I changed my mind moment.
Okay.
I'm just saying that in a sense of clearly people like Tiffany.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's abysmal. So I want to put that out there. I don't think she's abysmal. But I'm going to double down what I keep saying about her. I don't think she's ready for this. And this didn't do anything special for me. This was all for Trish. Trish didn't look the worst in the world for how long she's been out of it.
True.
This is, I think it's just more the stigma that made the match bad. Because if you came to me and said it wasn't a terrible match, I don't think I would argue with it. I just don't want to see it.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all
my
for me with this one.
My thing about this is what you just said. Oh, this match was all for Trish. Why? In 2025, why? Because, newsflash, remember what I said, was it a week ago when we first talked about the Goldberg thing? When we didn't do a show last week, but you know what I mean? When we first talked about Goldberg getting that match, I used the 2 words revisionist history. There's this revisionist history. There's this thought process. Like, Goldberg was like one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. He was so over for so long, and he wasn't. Goldberg was never a good wrestler, and then he was expected to carry these matches as he got older. Trish Stratus, revisionist history. Trish Stratus was never a great wrestler.
She was just the better of all the divas.
She was just, well, not even that. When she was in the ring with a Lita or a Mickie James or someone of that ilk, she would hold her own. But those individuals carried the matches. They're the wrestlers. They were able to carry her through those matches. The Molly Hollies, the Jazzes, the Jacquelines. That's who Trish was in the ring with during her era. Those were can't miss talents. Those were women who were great wrestlers but didn't have the look the WWE wanted to push as their brand. Trish had the look, and she had enough skill to be the top girl, to be the top woman in the industry.
And let me
but
make
she
this
was
clear.
Never a great wrestler, ever.
You made a very good point, so I want to clarify what I just said, just to be clear about what I'm saying. She was the best wrestler, and let's see, I'll make it a little bit more clear too, of all the divas. And what I mean by that, you can say Lita was a diva, you can say whoever in that era was a diva, but we're not stupid, and we know who the divas were. It was a very particular look, and of those looks, the ones that would get the push to go, Trish was the best wrestler of those divas. So I just want to be clear, because I know all the women wrestlers kind of in that era were technically divas, but we all know what
Trish
Vince was pushing.
I think Trish was before the diva era. The diva. When I think of the diva era, I'm thinking Michelle McCool, Lay Cool, and Candice Michelle, and like the Bella Twins. She was a little bit before that. Trish was a little bit before that.
Am I bug? No.
Yeah, Trish's retirement match, I think, was 04.
I remember Trish's era being the diva era. I didn't even fucking watch Nikki Bella or any of them. So there's no. I'm not saying that they weren't divas, but I wouldn't classify because I didn't watch them.
There it is.
So I wouldn't have thought that era to have been the diva era because the divas I know were around the Trish Stratus time.
Well, they were referred to as divas. Yeah, I have it here in front of me. It does count that era as divas, but the Divas Championship was introduced. Maybe that's my confusion. The Divas Championship was created in 2008, but apparently,
and that's what I'm saying because the diva. So when I say diva, again, I'm referring to a particular look that Vince liked.
The models,
yes,
Alicia Fox and the Kelly Kelly.
On the
Wilson,
calendars and all that. Yes, they were always referred to as the divas.
Like Divas Undressed, the magazine or some shit like that.
Yes, Trish was the best wrestler of the particular.
She was the best performer.
I'm not referring to Lita. I'm not referring to the actual wrestlers, but of the look, she was the best. That's why she got pushed. That was my point.
Ha. Well, even if that was the case, she ain't the best now. And not for nothing, I have a very hard time, and maybe this is just, again, I'm not a nostalgic person in certain situations. Sometimes I am able to get out of my nostalgia, and if you compare eras, it's not really much of a fucking comparison. The women's wrestlers of today.
Oh, night and day. Not only do they have the look, but they can wrestle their ass off.
It's such a different time now. And every time you include Trish, or every time you include Lita, or even if you go further back, because we saw legends on this show. Jacqueline came back, Alani Kai, bless her heart, an old friend, was on the show, and every time you bring these women back, yes, we pay respects. They showed Ivory. I haven't seen Ivory in 2 decades. They showed Ivory on the show, and it's like, these are grandmothers now, right? These are women who they had their debut match in the 80s, like this. As you go through the years, yes, these women should be respected for the beatings that they took and the bullshit they had to eat and the doors that they had to literally cut open because they refused to open it for them. I'm not saying that these women are not worthy of respect. What I'm saying is that it hurts their image in the eyes of newer fans when you keep putting these women, the older women, into the ring with these current women. Because these new kids who didn't grow up watching these women in their prime, they hear the stories and they see the package on the screen, and they go, wow, she was something back in 2006. That's crazy. And then they get in the ring with these new girls, and the new girls are literally slowing it down. Like, it's like walking grandma through the hallway. All right, now, Miss Stratus, I'm going to give you an Irish whip, okay? Just keep your back straight. Here we go. Whoop-de-doo. All right, I'm going to bend forward. Hit me with that sunset flip. No, I got you. I'm going to move you by the head. There you go, Trish. All right, I'm going to roll. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? What the fuck are we talking about? Michael Jordan is one of the greatest basketball players of all time. You put him on the court right now, he'd get smoked. It's not the same thing. Keep the eras apart for a reason. You can still get money out of Trish without having to expose herself in the ring. That's the reason why I don't like these matches. Look at what Goldberg did. This isn't a woman thing. Look at what Goldberg did against Gunther. Gunther just did what I just explained to Goldberg. All right, Bill. You listening, Bill? Where's your good ear? Left side, right? All right, Bill, you ready? Irish whip, Bill. Here we go. Whee! Go for it, Bill. Now I'm going to turn around. My arms are up. Go ahead. Go for the spear. Go for it.
But it is unfair to Trish here, and I will give her some. I will shoot her some bail here because it is different.
How so?
If I had to choose between seeing a gun to my head, you're getting a legend.
Okay.
Trish or Goldberg?
Oh, I'm taking Trish.
You fucking drunk? See, you're troll.
I'll take
okay,
it.
we're
No.
podding now. I get it. We're podding.
No.
The impact of hold on. Let me with the.
I have to watch one match right now.
Gun to your head.
Gun to my head. A Trish. What does it matter? The opponent. A Trish Stratus match.
A Trish Stratus match or a Goldberg match. And if you want to make it more fun, against whomever you think would be their best opponent, it doesn't matter.
Goldberg has one leg. How the fuck? He has one. If I was to pick an opponent for Goldberg, it'd be the one they gave him. Who else? Who else is going to go out there and do that with him?
I thought I was making a point here, but you know what? Fuck it. Shout out to Trish. You're the best legend.
Of those two choices.
Of
those two choices. Now, for Trish, I wouldn't have picked Tiffany Stratton as that level of opponent or that kind of opponent for Trish.
I personally think it doesn't matter. I think the match is the same either way.
Fair.
I think it gets worse.
Yeah, what happens is
the
way the match goes is that whoever she wrestles is gonna talk Trish through the match is what it is. That's how that's gonna go.
I mean, in any of those scenarios, best case scenario is put them in the ring with oh my god, my brain just shut the fuck off. Huh. Oh my god, I hate when my fucking with Rhea. Jesus Christ!
I would not.
If it's a woman wrestler,
yeah, and
you want a show, just put her in the ring with Rhea. And you will get a match.
I'm not going to put Rhea in the ring with Trish Stratus. I would rather put Rhea Ripley in the ring with a Fabergé egg.
Could. She made Zelina Vega look nice.
At least Zelina has full function of it. Look, listen.
Does she?
But does she?
But hold on. No. Let's really let's egg the rest of the show and dissect this. Like, does she?
But does she? No, I don't need to see either of them anymore. I think there's ways to get
I've been screaming that for
money out of
years.
them without exposing them to that. This era is different than that era. Keep them apart. Like you said in the scenario, gun to my head, I'd rather have Trish. And just based on maneuverability. Trish can be led still. I'll give her that credit. That match that happened with Tiffany wasn't a terrible fucking match. But I don't need to see this anymore. I don't think it helps Tiffany Stratton at all. Who in that building with, you know what, I was kind of on the fence about Tiffany, but now that she's defeated Trish Stratus, I feel like she's a much stronger champion now. No one. It didn't happen. That's the problem with these constant returns. The rubs get a lot harder to get. So, no, I didn't need anything to do with that. 8 minutes, shortest match on the card. They got in, they got out. That was smart. Our next match... Oh, baby. Jade Cargill versus Naomi in a no-holds-barred match with your homegirl Bianca Belair as a special guest referee. And let me tell you, we were giving the WWE a lot of shit for the Bianca situation.
Don't you do it. You better not fucking go on here with that bullshit.
What bullshit?
And you're going to say some bullshit.
I'm just going to say she was injured.
Oh, my God.
Is that the bullshit?
Do not fucking Kurt Warner me right now, okay?
Kurt Warner you? What the fuck kind of reference is that?
Her fingers. He let me down too. He was like one of my favorite quarterbacks. Was he the one with the hurt pinky?
Was it the pinky? I think he had a hand issue. Yeah, for sure.
It was one. No. You fuck. See, you're doing it again. Don't do that shit.
What?
It wasn't his hand. It was his fucking pinky.
The pinky is attached to the fucking hand.
I'm with you, bro. if it was his hand, I'm with you. Sit down. I want you to feel better. It's your fucking pinky. I'm not saying it was her pinky, but it was fingers. At least that's what you told me.
She's got split. I saw the pic. Her when she comes to the ring, she's got fucking splints on like 2 or 3 of those fucking fingers right now.
So you.
I'm trying to figure out how.
I don't understand what an injury to fingers has to do with taking a dog shit on this woman for the past how many years now?
Okay.
Don't you get me flared up. Look.
No, not Flair. Flair's a baby face now, so we need to rein that in. You don't need to be completely upset. Listen.
I'm sold on Jade Cargill, and I don't give a fuck what nobody says.
No, well then you're on your own on that.
Good. I'll stand alone. I don't give a shit. I love the progress she's done. She's still got a lot of work to do. She's young. She's got a lot more time in her. I don't think it's time yet, although unfortunately I see it coming. I feel like we're about to do another Tiffany here. But I do like her momentum. I like what she's been doing. I've always loved her look, but I've always hated the work. And she is getting so much better. It's fun watching her progression. It really is.
Okay. Sure.
Is that where you're at with it?
No.
You hated this shit.
No, see, because here's what it is about. Because you know how I feel about the caution tape lady, right? So, but with Jade, I will agree that she's progressed. I will agree that she's gotten better. I don't think the speed on her progression is not matching the speed of her work.
I agree.
They're getting excited about the fact that she's getting better. And they're going to start putting her in positions where they're going to start requiring her to already be a main event level talent, and she's not there. Unfortunately, you got her from AEW, and when you received her, she wasn't ready to do anything.
I'm sure she had a lot of bad habits.
You
too.
just got her to the point of being a WWE. In my opinion, she's now at a WWE superstar level. She can compete.
Entering,
yeah,
yes,
I don't not
a WWE star. I would say superstar.
She's got the look. She can work a match enough to not hurt anybody or hurt herself, and the match looks comparable. She's getting there, like you said. She's getting there, but I feel like they're getting trigger happy, like they're trying to manifest. All right, well, maybe if we put her in the ring with more main eventers, then she'll start performing more like a main eventer. Like, I know we put her in the ring with a bunch of wrestlers, so she learned how to wrestle. Now we need her to be in the ring with main eventers so that she can be right, but you could also expose her. The Asuka match kind of exposed her. Now, this situation, when this match was getting ready to start, I said to my wife and I said to myself, I actually liked. Remember, we sat here for WrestleMania and said she didn't do half bad a job at WrestleMania. And it was these two. It was Jade and Naomi. And you know, everyone here knows how I feel about that pear-shaped bitch and how I feel about their chemistry in the past. When that WrestleMania match happened, even I had to sit here and say, it wasn't all that bad. It wasn't all that bad. It kind of fit into what was going on. So going into this match, I knew she was going to get fucked around with Asuka. But in this match, I went, okay, my bar is a little higher because they had a regular match, and it went pretty good. This is a no-holds-barred match. Let's see what happens. And I'll be honest, I liked the other match more than I liked this one. Once the toys got involved, I was like, all right. Like, I did like, I'm not going to front, I did like the cameraman spot where she took the camera from the cameraman and then she hit Naomi with the camera and then did the best thing in the whole match. I don't know if you remember this, but she tossed that bitch to the floor. And I looked right at my wife because that got a response. It wasn't a pop and it wasn't a boo. It was a, oh, God damn it, right? I told my wife, I said, this is a different wrestling audience. Look how business conscious these people are. They didn't care that she hit Naomi with the fucking camera. Why would you toss it? That's like a couple of $1,000 worth of equipment.
One of the guys, that's like a $10,000 camera.
Yeah, what the fuck? They're going to dock you, girl. What are you doing?
You know what's funny? You know, it's funny you bring that up. You know what the vibe I got? It took me back to, I don't remember if it was WrestleMania, the Nintendo 64 WrestleMania or No Mercy. I can't remember which one it was. When you would reach into the crowd and pull out like a bell or a stop sign. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. I don't know why. That's just, I got like this weird nostalgia when she fucking threw it. I don't know why, dude.
I wanted her to hit her with the camcorder or the video camera, hit her in the head, and Naomi does a head whip, touches her forehead, and slowly crumbles to the ground, just like in the video game. Oh man! So you not only are you still standing by Jay, but I'm going to safely assume you enjoyed this match, the no holds barred match.
It was I was okay. You see, when you say enjoy, there's so much like gusto in that word. It was a good match, man. I don't hate this match. I don't all the way hate Naomi. I like this Naomi better than the other one. And I just like watching Jade and seeing her progression right now. Will it change? Will I turn against her or become her biggest fan? I don't know, but that's part of the fun right now with her. She's just progressing, and we'll see what she does with it.
Part of the fun.
Part of the fun.
Right. So Jade Cargill did defeat Naomi. Her Queen of the Ring win does guarantee her a title match at SummerSlam. And at the end of the main event, we will be touching back on this because some confusing shit happened. They tried to clear it up a little bit on Monday, but I'll try to explain it. But our next match, the Battle Royal, not really much to discuss here. It's a goddamn Battle Royal, and it had the winner it was supposed to have.
Say her name.
She calls herself La Primera. We call her La Culo. Stephanie Vakir. She has the body where my wife goes, God fucking damn it. Jesus.
You know what's crazy? That new shit that they do now, the wrestlers do now, is making it look even crazy. Like,
oh,
whoever
no way.
said,
You
dude,
picked
with
it up
the
too?
with the stockings and shit.
The strap right underneath the butt cheek that props the ass up a little bit.
Well, not
more.
just that. That's amazing.
That's the one my wife picked up on. She goes, "Why is everyone wearing the strap, hiking their asses up?"
I can't. That wasn't what's her name? Stratlander.
Chris Statlander.
She's the first one that I remember doing it.
Doing what?
The butt strap.
Oh, the butt strap.
Yeah.
Before Ripley?
See, I don't remember it.
Yeah,
I don't
the
know.
timeline's a little screwy.
Because I'm assuming Ripley did it first. But my first memory of it was Stratlander, and boy, she did it well. She did a good job with that uniform. But
she did her thing.
But yeah, it was what it was.
It's about a royal.
They did exactly what we said was gonna happen. They put a bunch of people in there that didn't matter with like two people that did, and we just watched them eliminate each other. They try to have some cool Royal Rumble moments with the handstand, and we gotta stop that shit, man. It's gotta be either 2 feet or two. They don't gotta just be 2 feet. If it's two hands, I don't know, dude. You kind of out.
Bruh, I just need, if you're over the top rope and you're touching the floor in any manner, you're fucking out, bro. Enough with
You gotta be done.
Enough with the Kofi Kingston
buffoonery.
The buffoonery. There it is. There it is. That's much better.
Ridiculous.
The buffoonery. I don't need any more of this garbage. Yes, but Stephanie Vacour will get the title match at Clash in Paris, so she waits in line. I hope this doesn't mean that she's not on SummerSlam, because that would be a shame. I need to see La Culito live. So, that was the Battle Royal. Our main event of Evolution. Io Sky defending the Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley. Let me brace myself for this one.
That girl can go.
Who's that girl?
You know
there's
that girl is.
two of them in there.
No.
I'm assuming you're not talking about the one that we've
been
blowing.
No. What comes to your brain when I say the name that comes to your brain when I say that girl can fucking go?
That's Io Sky.
Okay. We're on the same page then. So we'll start this with me kind of eating some crow here.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. All right. Not so much. I'm still going to stand on. I said what I said. But boy, is this girl showing you I don't need a fucking mic. She don't need to fuck the mic. Let someone else talk. Fuck a promo. Put me in the ring and I will make your best wrestler look like I'm carrying the match. And that's exactly what she did here. And that's not to shit on Rhea or that Rhea did anything bad. This is a phenomenal match on both sides, but this is a very rare moment where you see someone in the ring with Rhea, and I don't know who was calling. I think it was Io. That's what it felt like. That girl was fucking going. She looked at the camera once, just put her middle finger up to me, and said, "I don't need a mic." That's what I saw. Because she just fucking went. She kept the pace of that match high,
and she just
she
took
was
it personally.
going and hitting the spots and being there, and Rhea being who Rhea is, she was everywhere she needed to be. Plus, then, which made this match a fucking WrestleMania match. But we're on Evolution 2, and it was one of those moments where this main event was so good. I'm gonna double down on what you said. Fuck, I wish they would have pushed this. Because this match with the bells and whistles and the push, and it did at this point, it wouldn't have fucking mattered what happened to this. If this is what ended your Evolution 2, 3 was guaranteed. It probably still is because of this match.
Yeah.
But it would have become a spectacle because of this match. These fucking girls went.
They did. They had a moment. Before I say how I feel about this match, I would like to bring one quick thing into perspective for people. I have had 2 moments in my life where I felt like I was experiencing something more than the usual. Because I surf through matches. I've been watching wrestling for 40 years. I was in the kitchen during the NXT title match that I was telling you earlier. My wife was like, "You're missing the match." I'm like, "Sweetie, I've been watching this for 40 years. You want me to do the commentary from the kitchen? I can do the commentary from the kitchen. I only have to look at the TV. I know what they're doing. Drop down this. I got it. I understand how this works." But watching this match in particular, there's 2 moments that come to mind when I was watching this. The very one was in 1999, and the other one was in 2014 or 15. I can't remember which one. In 1999, I watched the No Mercy pay-per-view. It was October. Throwaway pay-per-view. And on TV, Edge and Christian and the Hardys were having a best-of-5 series. And the last match, which was match 5, they had decided it was going to be the first ever tag team ladder match. And they had that match on pay-per-view. And I remember watching that match for the first time live as it happened. And I remember walking away from that match. When that match was over and the audience stood on its feet and showed their appreciation for how much they did to each other, I felt like that was a special moment. And then the next night, because remember pay-per-views back then were on Sunday, the next night on Raw, the Hardy Boys come to the ring to gloat about their victory, and they got a giant pop. Considering that they were heels, they got a giant pop. Edge and Christian comes out to confront them, and they don't even get a chance to talk on the microphone. The building stood up and gave them a standing ovation for their efforts from the night before in a completely different city. That's how great that match was. Fast forward to 2000, I just looked it up. It was 2015. It's SummerSlam weekend. SummerSlam was on Sunday. NXT TakeOver is on Saturday. And NXT TakeOver, the very first one, had a lot of great moments on it. I got to see Jushin Thunder Liger for the first time and the only time live against Prince Pretty. What the fuck was this? Tyler Breeze. I got to see a couple of the main event was Kevin Owens and Finn Balor for the world title. It was a dope card. It was the first time me and Steph did NXT and WWE back to back. On that card, the NXT card, was Sasha Banks and Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship. They went for 25 minutes, and they blew the crowd up. And to the point where I later found out that Kevin and Finn were very sad because they had to do a ladder match after that, and they were like, "Fuck it, we might as well just go home." The crowd is completely dead, and they were. There was no energy left for the main event. Bayley and Sasha Banks on that night, when I walked away from that building, I said to myself, I think I saw the greatest women's match I'll ever see in my life. That's how great, because I was in the building, you feel it, it's a little different. I guess Steph remembered that. So we're watching the match last night. Or 2 nights ago. Oh, no, it's last night. No, 2 nights ago. I'm fucking up. It's Tuesday. 2 nights ago. We're watching the main event. And we're kind of over Io and Rhea because this is now like, the second or third time that we've seen it. Between the triple threat, the matches leading up to it. They've wrestled a couple times now. This one felt different. Like, from the beginning, it felt different. It felt loose. I felt like they were playing around in the beginning. There's a spot where Rhea Irish Whip, Io comes through, does a Hurricane Rana into a DDT, and then Rhea takes this big ass bump, and Io does like 2 arms in the air, like, yes, I countered, and then like fell back, like it was kind of funny. They were having a good time. They were vibing. But as this match continued on, we started feeling it again. We were listening to the audience, we were watching the match, and we kept looking at each other going, I think this is one of those moments. Like, I couldn't really get it. And then it just kept going, and it kept going, and it kept going, and the stakes just kept being raised, and kept being raised, and kept being raised. Up until the cash-in, right at that point, my wife looked over at me and said, "Do you remember Brooklyn?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "No, I think we're watching the greatest one right now." Like, that's her saying that. She's like, "I think we're watching one of the best women's matches ever right now." And one of the things that I said in response, I said, I could tell that it's a good women's match because I forgot for most of this that it was a women's match. This felt very much like what it's supposed to feel like. The main event of a pay-per-view with the World's Heavyweight Championship on the line. That's what that felt like. For a split second, for 25 minutes, I forgot they were women. Legitimately. Because Io is flawless. Rhea is flawless. No one's perfect. People make mistakes, but these two very rarely ever do. And I could see it on their faces. As someone who's been in the ring, I could see it on their faces. They were feeling this one. This one felt right. They were throwing whatever they felt like, and it was money. They just kept going through it. Even when things got crazy and the referee took Jessica Carr, by the way, I was maybe messing up that last name, but I know that's Ref Jess.
I was literally just thinking about that. Shout out to her, bro.
She took big ass bump.
Illest.
Yeah.
Drop kick.
She
Clean, didn't guard. She took it straight to the chest.
Yeah.
She took the bump.
She took a full
damn
bump.
good bump.
Yeah, full bump.
And rolled out. Fucking beautifully.
Even when that happened, you start to think to yourself, okay, maybe this is starting to drag. Right? We already have the ref bump. Let's hurry up and get to go home. Then they utilized the ref bump. And then it got a little crazy on the outside.
And that's what I love about it. Because usually when that happens, it starts to get stupid.
Right.
People are grabbing shit. They're staring. They're
Boom.
stalling. The moment she went down, they took it right out of the fucking ring.
Right.
They're like, no counting. Now we can just get nutty. And they continued the pace of the match.
Yeah, but what I think makes this still a classic, considering that they went outside into the crowd, you know what they didn't do in the crowd? They didn't grab a trash can. They didn't grab a chair. They didn't grab a kendo stick that just happened to be placed by someone's chair by sheer coincidence. They had a big bump with the crossbody, but they kept everything reasonably within the world and the realm of wrestling. All of it made sense.
Beautiful crossbody, by the way.
Yeah,
because when she came off, usually at
commits.
that height, going to that surface, you see a lot of like turtling.
Yeah.
She at full extend,
and Rhea gave her entire torso.
It was
amazing. Perfect. They
Absolutely
were on fire. I'm not fucking. This is like when Michael Jordan tells you that the basket was 30 feet wide. It was
And
they could not fuck this matchup if they wanted to.
They couldn't miss.
They could not miss. Everything worked.
And to the point that you made about forgetting it was a women's match, I don't know if this is a positive thing or a negative thing, but you reminded me of a feeling that I had in that moment when you said that is I hate that this is the main event of the women's pay-per-view because I feel like this should have been the main event of an overall pay-per-view.
Yes, absolutely.
And I don't know if that comment takes away from that. Like, I don't mean to shit on women.
No, I don't.
This is all dumb.
I don't think
but
that
to
it
me,
does.
It's like this was wrestling.
Yeah, no, but that's
no gender.
That's what I was saying earlier. They did such a great job. I forgot it was for the women's title. This felt like a world heavyweight championship bout between two of the best professional wrestlers in the world trying to settle a score. Because outside of the championship, remember the story, Rhea has never defeated Io Sky in her entire career. Io beat her in the Mae Young Classic to get a contract. Io beat her in NXT for the championship, and she beat her on the main roster for the championship. Rhea Ripley has never beaten her. And the fact that that was the story going in, and then they had a match that constituted that story, with Rhea doing every humanly possible thing she could do to get over on Io Sky. And I want to give another shout out. This might be underappreciated. People may not give a shit about this, but for someone in the profession who does this, I want to give them a shout out. The MVP for me for that match, for the people who weren't in the ring, Wade Barrett. I feel like did an amazing fucking job illustrating a lot of fucking points between the two individuals, like saying, because visually, if you don't know the story and you look at Rhea and you look at Io, you go, oh, Rhea should eat this chick alive. And Wade had said earlier in the match, because Michael said, have you ever had anybody in your career that drove you nuts, that gave you fits the way that Io gives Rhea fits? And Wade said it perfectly. He said, you got to understand, I'm 6'5". I'm a hefty 200-pound man. And for whatever reason, in the course of my career, just like Rhea, those cruiserweights, those smaller guys, they always gave me problems. They're crafty, they move around, they're smaller, they're more agile, they're harder to get their hands on. You can get into a fist fight like he named Sheamus. Sheamus knocked my block off a few times. I can go in the ring with Sheamus and throw hands, and we'll see who the better man is. A smaller opponent's not going to do that. They're going to run. They're going to get crafty. They're going to get in. They're going to get out. You have to plan for that. That's why Rhea can dominate the division and still have a problem with Io. Because Io's got the technique. Io has fundamentals. She's got the style. She is the perfect yin to her yang. And it's worked out. That's the story going in. It has a story in place. The championship's on the line. It's the main event. It had all the chips. It had everything. Now, here's how good this match was. The cash-in. I genuinely did not expect the cash-in. I gave like 2 examples already so far throughout the show where I called it without even thinking about it. It was that obvious and that was that easy. And to be fair, the most logical. This one surprised me. When she came out and legitimately cashed in, and the match wasn't even over. She cashed in to make it a triple threat. And then she came in and she won the match, and she won the championship. And I looked over at Steph, and Steph's looking at me like, because she knows how I feel about Naomi. And she goes, does that kill the whole match for you? And the honest answer is no. It doesn't. I feel like they did a good enough match to where that cash-in actually, and maybe I'm wrong, people can disagree, I think it actually added to it because of that element of surprise. I don't think anybody called that. She said that on Raw. She came out with the belt. They were like, you deserve it. She was like, nah. You can dead all that right now. None of y'all saw this shit coming. And she's right. God damn it. She's 100% right. I don't think anybody saw that shit coming. Not on a pay-per-view like this. Not after a match like that.
I'll tell you
That's
what,
ballsy. So even I have to give
good.
them credit.
The writing's good because if there's any way to legitimize, if that's the title you're going for, and to legitimize that cash-in, That's a damn good way to do it. Like, even when they wrote that out, I don't think they knew that match was gonna be as hot as it was for that cash and to just being a heel and being gifted a match so good. All you have to do is not fuck it up, and you will suck the air right out of that room, which is exactly what the fuck you want in her position. They gifted that to her, and she did that, which takes us to the conversation of what we were saying earlier about this is too fast, because I see exactly where this is going. And this is where I will say this is too fast. We don't need to do this.
For Naomi?
No, for the Jade lead.
Well, see, there is the confusion that I have. Because immediately everyone online was like, oh, Naomi just won a championship just so Jade can beat her for it at SummerSlam. Actually, she can't. That's actually the problem. That's my confusion. Unless they break a rule here, that doesn't make a whole lot of fucking sense. Because Jade is a SmackDown wrestler. When she won Queen of the Ring, it was already stated that she would compete against the WWE Women's Champion.
They state that, yes.
And that would be Tiffany Stratton. So when Naomi won the Money in the Bank, she's also a SmackDown competitor. But when she cashed in at Evolution, she won the Raw title. So I was confused when she won. Then on Monday, they cleared all that up. Because what Naomi said on Raw was, oh, y'all thought I was going to cash in on Tiffany Stratton. Nah. I cashed in over here because I'm done with all that garbage happening on SmackDown. I'm done with Jade. I'm done with Bianca. I'm over here now, and I'm going to be the world's women's championship. As a matter of fact, right here in front of me, if I'm not mistaken, the official thing here for SummerSlam, it has Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill listed as the match for SummerSlam. So it's gonna be Tiffany and it's gonna be Jade. It's not gonna be Jade and Naomi.
That's a good point. I forgot that they did state that. Yeah. I remember King of the Ring, they stated that one would wrestle the other depending on who won.
And so
then why this then? Now I'm even more confused.
So now what happened on Raw is, let me bring back that ladder match analogy. Remember I told you they had the pay-per-view on Sunday, and then on Raw, they got a standing ovation for the match from the night before. So yesterday on Raw, Naomi comes out, addresses the crowd. She gets interrupted by Rhea to a huge pop. Then Io comes out to confront the both of them to a huge pop. And there's one moment when they're standing in the ring when they're all arguing together, and then Adam Pearce comes out, and he says some nice things about Naomi. He goes, not for nothing, you've always made good on opportunities in your whole career. Last night, or 2 nights ago at Evolution, was the moment of your entire career. Congratulations. Then he looks to Rhea and Io. He goes, I don't want to speak for the audience. I don't want to speak for the people in the back, but what you two did at Evolution was magic. And the crowd stood up on its feet and gave that match a standing ovation. That's special. Not very many matches get a standing ovation after it happens, like a night or two, like 48 hours later. That audience stood in appreciation for that match. And then Adam Pearce ends it by saying that because SummerSlam is a 2-night event, we need box office, we need interest, we need magic. So at SummerSlam, it's going to be Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Naomi for the World's Women's Championship at SummerSlam. Now, I know that CM Punk and Gunther are now booked for SummerSlam as well for the World's Heavyweight Championship. I need an argument that the girls should not be last night one. Now, if the argument is, well, they did great together, but now they're adding Naomi. Naomi is no Bianca Belair. That might be the one thing that I can listen to. But based on that performance at Evolution, oh, baby, I don't know. That's going to be hard. That's going to be hard. I know one match on the SummerSlam card I'm not going to give a shit about. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Go fuck yourself. And they're rematching Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria one-on-one. So I know when I'm getting my popcorn now. I can schedule that out. But, yeah. But, no, that's Evolution. That is Evolution. Ooh. Jesus Christ. So, let's move on to the next topic then. Shan't we? I think we shan't.
It's time for segment 3.
We were just talking about it a second ago. We're here again. Let's talk very quickly about some of my favorite SummerSlam moments in history. SummerSlam, of course, coming up August 2nd and 3rd at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And don't let the footage fool you, folks. That building is in New Jersey. I know every time they talk about MetLife, they show the building for MetLife and then immediately show it with pictures of New York. It is not in New York. If you're coming from New Jersey, you'll never have to get into New York. If you're flying in from New York, then you've just caused yourself quite a headache. Because if you flew into New York to go to SummerSlam, you got a huge problem on your hands. Because it's going to take you forever to fucking get there. Word of advice, fly to Newark. Don't go to fucking New York. That's not where that building is. It's very confusing. I live here, so I understand where everything is. For those of you flying into SummerSlam, don't go to LaGuardia or JFK. You're going to be really pissed when you get off that plane. Because this is going to cost you a pretty penny to get to the actual fucking building. So, yeah, that building is going to be big. It's going to be rocking, and it's going to be full on August 2nd and 3rd. But before we get to 2025... some of my favorite SummerSlam moments that took place. Today we'll be doing numbers 15 through 20. Starting with number 20. You already brought it up earlier. We're back at it here. SummerSlam 2016. Finn Balor taking on Seth freaking Rollins for the brand new introducing WWE Universal Championship. This was the match where, yeah, Finn's whole shoulder fucking came out. What was the way you described? He took that bump like what now?
I don't even remember. Something insulting, like
something
a jackass or something.
He took it like a wobbly left nut. He hit the goddamn barricade.
Rewound it. I'm like, dude, I remember this. Like, look, why the fuck are you stretching your arm? And it wasn't even like the right side that would have been less impactful. It seems like he reached across the back of his body. Oh, dude, it's so stupid. I'm like, why the fuck did you do that?
Hey,
you can see it pop out.
Yeah.
You can see his shit. Like,
listen, in all fairness, I've had it happen to me. That's how my elbow came out from the powerbomb. My arms aren't supposed to be back there. It happens sometimes. I don't know. You lose yourself in it. For me, this is also one of the big moments in SummerSlam history because this is probably the only match that happens at any major pay-per-view where the one black and gold NXT guy you would have assumed would have been a shoo-in to be successful on the main roster was Finn Balor. And he got to the main roster. He wasn't on the main roster for very long before he was put in this match for a new world title, and he was booked to win, and despite injuring his shoulder, he still won, but because of the shoulder injury, they had to strip him of the title. He was never the same after this. It's been 9 years.
The beginning of Finn Balor's history.
Yeah.
Right there.
It was
for title
done.
Injured. Title injured.
Yeah. Despite him being the current tag team champion and being on, a major focal point of the television show today, to be honest, it's still one of wrestling's, in my opinion, one of wrestling's biggest what ifs. If he doesn't injure his shoulder, what kind of run does Finn Balor have. Not just because, remember, he was also still doing the Demon Balor gimmick at the time. He was riding high. He was easily one of the most popular superstars in WWE at that time. And that shoulder injury just fucked everything up.
I wonder if you can make an argument with the amount of, and obviously we can't say for sure because the longevity wasn't there, but that demon gimmick has to be one of the greatest fucking impactful gimmicks, and like, if not at all time, but like in a really long time. Like, I don't even think we've gotten a demon feel since the demon.
No, not really. They tried to do it with the Fiend a little bit, but it was a little different. They ran that one into the ground. He was the Fiend a whole lot more than Finn was.
You can argue Yeet. I can argue Yeet for that impact, but that demon was different, and he would weave it where like sometimes he wasn't, sometimes he was, and that was like, dude, it was a good moment for him, man. It sucks.
It did. And yeah, everything just kind of went to shit after that. It was really the beginning of the end of that, of the Finn Balor deal. Number 19 on the list. This goes all the way back to the original SummerSlam. Of course, this is a core memory with me. 1988. This was August, so you were like 8 months old when this shit happened.
Yeah, man, I was a little baby, dude.
Over there, suckling at the teat of knowledge, watching SummerSlam. I'm sure SummerSlam was on that year. I just don't know where we were living at that time. I was definitely watching Golden Era. I just don't remember where we were. But the very first SummerSlam, it had the shocker moment that stayed with SummerSlam for years. The Honky Tonk Man had spent a full year, which back then was amazing, to be, he was the Intercontinental Champion for a year straight, only to lose his championship in less than 2 minutes at SummerSlam to a raging Ultimate Warrior. I distinctly remember this. This is a core memory with me because I was one of the few people, I know it sounds crazy to hear out loud, but there were a lot more Hogan and Warrior fans in the late 80s and early 90s than there were Macho Man fans. I know people have a hard time believing that. Macho Man became a lot more famous and a lot more of a popular character amongst people way later. In the height of everything, when those 80s wrestlers were really on their shit, you were either Hogan or you were Warrior, bro. Like, that's what that era really was like. People think it was like from the beginning. Nah. There were a lot of people that thought that Macho Man was fucking, like, retarded. Like he was on some, like, there were a lot of people back in the day that legitimately thought that Macho Man was, like, on some shit. Like, the way that he talked. And then if you hear Macho Man talk off camera, he sounds a lot like that. So it was a really spooky thing for people. But, like, when Warrior beat Honky Tonk, that was insane. He would eventually go on as Intercontinental Champion to go on and defeat Hogan about a year or so later at WrestleMania and becomes the first ever double champion. This thing had all the belts. Ultimate Warrior. So that one stuck out to me as well. So that's on the list here at 19. Number... Go ahead.
No, I was going to say it stuck out to me because it was a 2-minute video. My man didn't come out till 1:30.
Yeah, I sent you a clip that said full match on it. And that shit was like 4 minutes long.
No. It was 2.5 minutes, and this dude came out at 1:30. I was laughing the whole time.
It's like crazy. Number 8.
There are TikToks longer than this.
Absolutely. They were ahead of their time, is what you're saying. They were ahead of time. Number 18 was I didn't realize how impactful it was until way later. And I'm not really being sarcastic. I'm being legitimate because I didn't understand what I was watching and what that would become. Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero, SummerSlam 2005, the custody for Dominic ladder match will forever be one of the most hilarious storylines that I have ever seen in my entire life. Because these motherfuckers really had their real wives and their real children on TV. Talk about Eddie fucked Ray's wife, and Dominic's not your son. He's really my son. And it was like the wives had to break down in tears, and Ray was trying to convey emotion through a fucking lucha mask. It was fucking hilarious. And Dominic, for some reason, had bleached blonde hair, and he was playing.
Dude, Dominic's got that same doofy ass look as a kid,
and
as he has today.
And true fucking story. I want to bet after this year's WrestleMania, I want to bet because in 2005, when I was hanging out with my friends, there's I don't remember if it was a SmackDown or the actual pay-per-view, but there's a time where Dom was on camera playing PSP. He was playing with his PSP, and they were doing an interview when he's in the side or whatever, he's playing his PSP. And I remember we were arguing in the room about what it was he could be playing. And I was like, dude, he's got to be playing GTA, right? That's like the big game at the time. There were other thoughts people had, but I was the GTA guy. Later, when he won the Intercontinental title, and he was going through all that media and promo and stuff, I think it was Chris Van Vliet, I can't remember. He said, that time you were playing the PSP, right? When you were doing the thing, and he's like, yeah, I remember. He goes, yeah, what were you playing? He said, GTA. And I'm like, motherfucker, I knew it. I fucking knew it. I've been sitting on that bitch for 20 years. I knew it. I fucking knew it. But that's the joke with Dom now. Dom's been walking around telling people he's a 20-year vet. He debuted in WWE in 2005. That's been like a running joke with him for like the last year or so. And he's right. He was booked on the pay-per-view. He was booked. He had a spot and everything. Dominic Mysterio, that little pudgy little bleach blonde-haired prick would later go on to become one of the greatest Intercontinental champions in WWE history. What a momentous occasion. That, and I remember when Eddie broke kayfabe in the ring, because there was a spot where Eddie and Ray are like climbing the ladder together, like on both sides, and they're doing something on top, and Ray takes the bump, and he's looking up at it was like a clipboard or something with paper in it, and nothing's stopping him from climbing the ladder, but he's not climbing it. And then after a while, he's looking at the entranceway, he's coming back, he's looking at the entranceway or whatever, and he starts going, and out of nowhere, here comes Vicky, and then she pushes the ladder over, and he takes the bump, but then he starts punching the fucking mat, and he's screaming, and he's like, fucking Vicky! Where the fuck were you? She blew the spot. She was supposed to push him off earlier, so he looked doofy, sitting there waiting for a push, and he got pissed. Good times. Good times. Oh, Eddie Guerrero. Lying, cheating, and stealing. Anyway, number 17. Number 17. This is the one that all of you out there talk about the most. I got a lot of Shawn Michaels, by the way, in these SummerSlam moments, but this is one of them, too. Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels with the flippity-doo. He went out there and put on a Cirque du Soleil special. He was a flipping, a flopping, and a rolling, and a squatting.
When you put them all together, it looks insane. The whole match.
You saw the clipped one that I sent you where it was all
I saw the clipped one first. I'm like, God damn, dude. He was serving it up. But then you watch the match, it's like, okay. You see the spots that he does it. It's a little over the top. But overall, it wasn't that. Like,
till this day, the greatest sell to a big boot you will ever see in your lifetime. Big boot, flat back bump with the back roll, the woo, 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 and then another back bump. Never will you ever see another athlete capable of selling a big boot in that manner. That boy was special. That boy was fucking special. And all that goofiness, right? He's doing all this. And you know what? No, let me finish my point. All that goofiness, Shawn's bumping left, bumping right, bumping up, bumping down, and Hogan still got color. He was determined to make this shit serious, motherfucker. But Shawn defended himself. I don't know. I didn't send that to you, but there is a clip out there where he defended himself. He said this with a straight face. He goes, Did I do a lot for that match? Yes, but to be fair, I did a lot in a lot of big-time main event matches in the past. Because a lot of people were clamoring at that time, in 05, because Shawn had to turn heel to face Hogan. They wanted the old heel Shawn from the Attitude Era, from like the really prickish Shawn. And really dickhead Shawn used to sell like that a lot. He goes, I used to sell like that a lot. Go back and watch my matches with like Davey Boy and Brett and Psycho Sid, more specifically because he was the bigger guy. He said, I would take a choke slam and pop right back up and then front bump and all. I was always doing that. But I hadn't done it in years. So I guess when I did it with Hogan, everybody thought I was trying to show him up. That wasn't really my plan. And then the guy was like, really, it wasn't your plan? He goes, look, I wasn't happy working that match. I'm not going to lie about that. But the fact that everybody was like, oh, he's going to business for himself, was like, no, I was still trying to give him a really good match. It's just, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it worked out the way that it fucking worked out. So, yeah, but that match, to me, by the way, that's back-to-back 2005. Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero and Hogan and Shawn Michaels was the same card. So y'all got to go check that out. And the last one on this list here, we'll keep it brief, number 16. In my opinion, and I don't know if you got a chance to see the full match.
I did.
Okay. To me, and there's been, the first SummerSlam was 88. This one coming up is 25. That is, doing the math real quick in my head, that's 37 SummerSlams. In my opinion, this is the greatest opening match to a SummerSlam of all time. These two, this was the first time these two had ever competed against each other. And they balled out for like 10 minutes. They just went off. That, for all these other matches that I just brought up, there's a moment in there. That's why I included them in moments. I'm not ranking this in order of great matches. The Honky Tonk's shocking loss, Finn Balor's beginning of his decline, the overselling of Michaels and Hogan, right? So, and the custody ladder match, these are all moments that took place. This particular one, for me, was a moment because, to me, this was one of the best openings to a SummerSlam ever. This match was fucking amazing. For an opening match, for a SummerSlam. And that 02 SummerSlam, by the way, is also pretty fucking dope. If y'all get a chance to go back and watch that shit, you should. That's a really good one. 2000 is another one. If you're looking for full opening match to main event, strong cards, those are really fucking strong cards. But Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio is on this list for me because it was just genuinely one of the greatest fucking opening matches of all time. Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio in their prime, at their best, going hold for hold, move for move. Phenomenal shit, baby. That's a big moment for me. I have
a question for you.
Okay.
And I saw it, and this was going to be my question for this match. All right?
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
The finish. Was it hot or not? And I'm willing to be sold. I have my opinion, but I'm willing to be sold.
Okay.
But I wanted to know your opinion on the finish, because that's what stood out to me.
He has the past few weeks.
Hold on. Oh, Jesus, the fucking volume. I'm trying to refresh myself on what that finish was. The tap out.
I can tell you.
It was
So Kurt was on top buckle.
Right.
Got dazed. Rey Mysterio climbed up on his back, did the little spin to the front.
Yep.
Hurricane Rana off the top.
Uh-huh.
Kurt reverses by just jumping forward, laying on his feet, and before Rey could realize he didn't hit it, he grabbed his leg, pulled him to the middle, and tapped him.
So now that you're saying that,
you remember, right?
Yeah.
Remember?
Now that you're saying it now, and I as you were, it was so funny because I pulled it back up to remind myself, and as soon as you started describing it, you started describing it literally in real time as I was watching it. I love the finish idea, but I remember even watching it in 02 when Rey does the Hurricane Rana and Kurt goes with him. He didn't go with him with the leg. That was the only thing that I didn't like. I think if he would have kept the leg the whole way through and then just yoked him into the fucking ankle lock, it would have been so much sicker. I don't think it was botched. It looked botched. Like it looked like he was supposed to go with him, and he didn't. And I was just like, damn.
Yeah, I agree. When I saw it, I was like, ooh,
Yeah, I'm pulling it back now.
The idea was cool.
The idea was
the execution was like literally, dude. I'm telling you, like a second off.
Yeah, no, because
like
I'm watching it right now.
So
even though he did, even knowing he didn't travel with him all the way through, Kurt still had a hard time getting his foot. Just based on the position, he staggered a little bit because he tried to find it. He was looking for the foot, and to Ray's credit, he's panicking. Please don't find my foot. And then he found his foot. Oh, he's got my foot, the son of a bitch. So he's doing his best to kind of get out of it. But yeah, no. The match is so good. I can overlook it, but now that I see it, it brings back memories of me saying live, like, fuck, if he'd have held on the whole way through, that would have been really, really fucking cool.
It's one of those moments where, like, damn, this would have been a masterpiece if it wasn't for that 1 second.
Yeah.
But that's like the nitpicking thing, because it was an excellent match the whole way through.
10 minutes, nothing really all that crazy. It's a good, strong opening match, and this another show stealer on this card. If anybody wants to go back, I think this is the one where it's Benoit versus RVD for the Intercontinental title, which is another strong one. And Benoit, we always used to make jokes. Benoit beat the pinche out of Rob Van Dam. For those of you at home that don't know what a pinche is, it's what Spanish women call the little hair ties they put in their hair to hold the ponytail. Rob always has a ponytail with the little pinche in his hair. And no matter how physical his match gets and how many of the little fuzzies come out of his ponytail, the ponytail always stays in place. This match, Benoit threw his ass so many times and fucked him up wrestling so many times, the fucking pinche came out, and it's the only match you'll ever see in WWE with Rob Van Dam with his hair all the way out. No ponytail. Full hair. Just out. Wild. So, nuts. So, those are my first 5 favorite SummerSlam moments. Next week, we'll be doing 10 through, now that I'm looking at this, it's 11 through 15. There you go. That's what was fucking me up. 11 through 15. And then the week after, we're just going to do all 10. So we can just wrap that up before the start of SummerSlam. So let's get into our main event, shall we?
It is now time for our main event.
Now, I've waited patiently to have this conversation. And this is one of the times where it does suck to skip a week because I was really juiced for it last week, but I still want to talk about this. And it's one of the rare times, folks, where I don't have a wrestling topic in the main event, but that's how strongly I feel about this because I have mixed emotions. Mixed emotions. Squid Games came out with its final installment on Netflix, Season 3, which, as we discussed previously when we talked about Squid Games, it was really one long season that they cut in half. That's really what it was. And so they had the first season that set everything up, the third season where everything hit the fan, and then we were off and running. And so we had this big turnaround. Me and you sat down. We talked about that whole second season. We met all these new players. We went through all these new games. There was a lot of things left open on the table for us to wait and see what was going to happen. Before we get into the actual specifics of the season, I know that you sat down and finally watched the whole thing. And so I want to start this off with a question. And that, because I've asked myself this question, I've seen this question asked online, I'll ask it to you. Do you feel like it was a seamless transition from seasons 2 to 3, or do you feel like 3 completely curved ball from season 2?
Well, that question's a fucking curveball. I wouldn't even have thought of it like that.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be one continuous thing, but there are some people online saying, I don't know what the fuck happened in 3. Why did it feel so different? Even though it had the same people in it, which I didn't get that sense. I felt like
Okay, there's one thing I wish I had the time to fucking do or prioritize better. That's what I'll say. I'll say that. because I could have made the time if I prioritized it a little bit better. But there was other things. There was one thing I did wish I did before we got here because I wanted to have a little bit more of an idea of what the people were saying. Maybe you can fill me in. But before I got the chance, and I got the chance to watch it by luck, because when it came out, I wanted to watch this really bad. My wife was not in the fucking mood. I couldn't pay her to sit down and watch anything. She just was not in the mood for shit. And I was kind of salty because this was the first time like something new came out. We were going to talk about it. And I actually was trying to, like 3 days in a row, try to make the time for it. And I was just getting rejected. So I was like, all right, that's fine. It is what it is. I'll have to eat the L. You sent it over to take a look at it. I watched the spoilers, and if you listen to us talk about spoilers, you know how much I fucking hate spoilers. But I did it so I could contribute to only have canceled it. So now I'm like, fuck, I could have actually watched it. So watched it anyway, and I did what I did when I watched spoiler. I'm like, oh, this is gonna fucking suck because there's no suspense because I kind of know what's going on.
Okay,
dude, it still blew me away. Like I still had all the emotion. I still had all of the like, oh my god,
because you saw clips. You didn't take the ride. It's
but
different.
I saw the ending.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Dude. You just told me that it didn't. You just told me it didn't.
No. I didn't say it didn't matter. It did still take away. But my point is, it was so good that I still had moments. Like I was still, basically, I guess I just experienced in a way that I assume you experience everything, where you know what's going on, but you still enjoy the ride.
Right, exactly.
Okay, that sounds normal to you, but to me, I've never experienced that.
And you know what's funny is it may not work out like that for you all the time. So I'm glad on this one occasion you were able to still experience the ride, so to speak,
right,
and still enjoy the actual outcome. So go ahead.
But to answer your question, no, I didn't think it was so different from each other. If anything, I'll go the opposite way and say I think there were two characters that suffered from the season being split that I think otherwise probably would have hit a lot harder if it just kept going.
Okay.
And the two characters is the crazy shaman woman. Because her ramp started right after they cut it off. So before she was just annoying and like, oh, she'll never be the first crazy lady. That bitch was amazing.
Yeah,
like
she was dope.
She was phenomenal. And then you get her build was so slow. But if I try to think of it in retrospect, like mushing them together, her ramp was right after. So if you're not fully remembering like the way she was, it will disconnect you with her.
Okay.
Because it's like, where's this dickhead coming from? I remember she was stupid. Now they're trying to make her cool, whatever the case may be. The other person that I think
Can I guess who the second person is you're going to say?
Yes, but I will say that I think this person got hurt the most. This is number one. What do you think it is?
I think it was Deho.
Dude, I'm not good with these names.
It's the one who was supposed to get the guns and then cowered out.
Yes,
I knew it.
Yes,
I knew it.
They played him so he had one of the best character builds because you kind of felt it the whole time. He was my favorite with the relay race where they were all hooked together. I'm getting fucking chills, dude. They were hooked together, and he was playing the girl game, and they were trying to make him look like a bitch. But then they did this really cool scene when he did it, and he like shined. Like they shot it in a way where he like had a glow moment where he was fucking doing tricks and shit. Like, it was so epic. And then it ends, it disconnects you, and then the feud between the two, if you weren't like remembering it or what happened again? If you were ever in that moment, the climax of that, I could understand would feel so kind of like taken away from you a little bit because you basically just stopped the climax and then next you know you climax. So it just kind of takes away from it. But yeah, that's my point to the question of like the separation of the two. Man, if they would have just, I know the payout was still good, but man, if they would have just left it all as just one long season 2,
would have flowed different.
Oh my God. The momentum of every character I think it would have aligned with season 1. I'll go as far as like the characters and the way that everything was going would have lined up just as good as season 1. And that's my opinion.
Ooh. Yeah. Well, no, I called that one because I was just as soon as you set that up the way that you did, it was like, damn, they really suffered from the other. I was like, yeah, that's definitely the one that comes to fucking mind. For me, I said it to my wife while we were watching it, and she kind of half-ass agreed. She kind of agreed, but then not really. To me, this is one of the most brilliantly written shows of the streaming era. What I mean by that is, like, you know how people say, well, this is the best TV show ever, or this is the best movie of all time. I feel like we're getting into a completely different era of
we're already in it, man.
No. That's what I'm saying. I feel like, and to be honest with you, I feel like what really ushered in this new era was properties like Squid Games.
Mm-hmm.
When it first hit and it first had that hysteria and everybody was all about Squid Games, I think this is one of the programs that really helped. When we talked about the beginning of season 2, and we said that the director, I always mispronounce his name. I mispronounce a lot of their names, so I'm either going to stick with numbers or I'm going to say that guy. But he, I felt like he had a really big burden, a really big responsibility to walk a very thin line. You can't completely copy what you did in season 1, but at the same time, you can't deviate from it either, because that's the formula that fucking worked. So we're like, you gotta find these different ways to get these characters to get to a certain place. And the reason why I think it's one of the most brilliantly written shows ever is because he created a premise that is seemingly impossible to accomplish, and he did it twice. And that is that you have designed a show revolved around a game or a series of games where you're going to create 456 people and put them into this game. And while, yes, we're only really going to focus on 8 or 9 of them, you're still collectively putting in 456 people into this game, and they're telling you at the beginning of the show, one will live. 455 people are going to die. It's a guarantee. And yet, based on the writing, you forget that. You take this journey with these characters throughout the course of the games, and you start to kind of forget that these people you're looking at will fucking die. But they do it in a way where it's just like, man, I really hope this person doesn't die, or maybe they can come up with some sort of idea for this person. And at the end of season 1, you're new to the show, so you watch it the first time, and people are dying, and you get down to the last guy at 456, Sung Gi-hung. That one I will always remember. And that's the end of the show. That's the end of season 1. In season 2, you're kind of like, you're aware now. You're more of a veteran, right? So the beginning of the series of season 2, right up until I think about episode 2 or 3, when he goes back into the actual games, you start to see a lot of familiar things, which is also why I thought it was brilliant to start off with red light, green light again, just to kind of get the viewer back into that Squid Game world again. So you go, oh, this sucks because, I know all these people are going to die now. But what he changed in this one, which got your hopes up, was the revolution, the revolt. We're gonna try to stop the games altogether. That gave you, as the viewer, maybe they can survive, right? Oh my God, if this works, No, not going to work. This doesn't work. And no matter how many, we call them in wrestling, we call them hope spots. No matter how many times it gives you the impression like this person might, you have to come to this always knowing there will only be fucking one. And it's difficult. And we saw 2, and then like a year went by or close to it, and then we saw 3. And, I had my opinions about it. But here's what I did, because I'm an idiot, and I think my wife's Asperger's thing is true about me, because I get obsessive. I understood that it was one flowing season that they cut in half. But time tends to blur worlds. So after I saw 3, and we waited a couple days or whatever, I watched 2 and 3 in a row. So I started it from season 2, and I watched it all the way to the end of season 3 because I just wanted to feel the flow instead of the break in between. I just wanted to go from the failed revolution into the new start of the blah 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 blah, and I just wanted to watch the whole thing all in one thing. And as I started doing that, I started noticing things that I didn't notice the first time around.
Okay, hold on. You watched the whole run before you saw 3 for the first time, or did you run it back?
No, we sat down, me and Steph, and saw 3.
Yes.
And then after we saw 3, a few days later, I was like, I think I want to get a flow, and it just flew all the way through.
Ran it back.
So I ran it back.
Yes. See, okay, how was that?
Okay, so when I did that, what I did was I started picking up on the things that I missed by not watching it all together. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, the crazy shaman lady. Mm-hmm. So, she to me was one of the most amazing. When I watched it all back, she became one of the most amazing characters to me. Because
I liked her.
She was doing the whole shaman thing, and she said everything in the creepiest ways possible. She was like, "Oh, you don't believe me? Well, the gods have chosen your fate." And she would see all these things, and when you look back on her scenes, guess what? She called everything. She called all their deaths. The way that she said that they would die was a representation of how they died. All of them. Everybody that she threatened, when she threatens the old guy, number 100, he's like, "Oh, the gods have a plan for you. You'll fall and your organs will spill out of your body and turn to dust and all that stuff." And that's what happened to him. He fell from the Squid Games, and his fucking there's a shot of him with his guts coming out of his fucking stomach. When she went into the room in the Mingle game, when she went into the room with the pregnant lady and Gi Hung and that crew, and she walked into the room and she saw the baby bump, and she just kind of shook her head, but then she looked at Gi Hung and goes, "Ah, you have lived longer than you were supposed to. You have a purpose that you need to serve," and that was his purpose, was the baby. Before he died, and she just went down.
Lose a lot of that, man.
She went down the line, and the more I heard them talk, the more that I figured it out. I also started drawing comparisons because I was starting to see what people were saying online about their discoveries, and they were like, "Well, Gi Hung in the first season made friends with the old man. The old man ended up being the main guy of the games. In season 2, he became friends with number 1, who was later revealed to be the front man." Now, we didn't know the old man was the main guy. That was a twist they saved for us. But we, as the viewers, knew that the front man, we knew he was the front man the whole time. But Gi Hung didn't find that out till the end of season 3. And they both wore number 1. So people were like, "Oh, see, he's tying together." There's the Gi Hung relationships between the two people are people who betrayed him. Right? In the first season, he had one of his best friends. Remember the smart guy? The one with the glasses? In the second season, he had another best friend. The dude he tried to borrow money from. Remember? So that, and then, this is the one that kind of killed me. The old lady, 149.
Oh my god, dude!
When
Stop.
she died,
She was my favorite
Yeah.
in the whole fucking show, dude.
So-
She was my number one.
So when she died, right? She died taking her own life because of her full circle story.
Yep.
She used to get beat by the husband, and in one last gasp to save her life, she used her special knife to kill him and defend herself. And then years later, it's the same knife she would use to kill her son. And she said her goodbye to the pregnant girl, and she did her last spiel to Gi-hung, and then she hung herself. But a lot of people forget, in season 1, there was also a hanging. The husband hanged himself after he killed his wife in the marble game. He couldn't live with himself, remember? In the first season, there was a hanging. They woke up and the box came. It was the same situation. He found a way, the director, to run back a lot of the ideas that he used the first time. He just packaged them differently the second time around. And he made
But
things
if you
different.
even piece it together, even crazier is that one of the, like, all that stuff you're saying, it's, I remember the complaints of people of the beginning of season 2, like, oh, they're trying to recreate it, it's not the same, yada yada yada. But in a sense, I think it's better because the whole purpose of the first one is like you experienced this firsthand, and he saw what was happening, and his whole thing was, you know, these people don't have a choice. Like, what you're doing is fucked. And both number ones in their own way try to explain to him, like, dude, you don't get it. Like, these people are trash. And what we're doing is for our entertainment and side hustle, we're giving these people an opportunity. They're street trash. They're going to die anyway. They owe tons of money. Their life is over. This is a redemption arc for at least one of them. And it gives them an opportunity, and they're like, no, they don't have the choice, yada, yada. So they run it back and give them nothing but choice. And you get to watch. I don't know. I know I'm butchering his name. Ginyu. You get
Gi-hung.
to watch him. Gi-hung. You get to watch him go from people are good to pretty much he starts to like he's becoming broken.
Yes.
He almost fully breaks to the point where he's like, yo, fuck these people. To the point where you get the feeling, especially when they start tying in like what's his name? The guy with the black mask?
The front man.
The front man, yeah. When they start kind of piecing, trying to show this scene between how the front man became the front man and what Gi-hung is experiencing now.
Right.
And you start to get this idea of, oh, the torch is going to be passed.
Right.
You're like, it's coming. And then you get this full circle, you get this full stop at the end with the events with the baby and stuff like that, where he starts to regain his people. Yes, like the idea of, yeah, this is what's happening, but like people still aren't bad. Like he kind of comes back from it a little bit up to like his last line where they leave it open for interpretation, which I think was pretty cool, where he goes out with pretty much leaving the world with the idea of, no, I was right. People aren't bad. You know what I mean? Like, it's up to interpretation. So that full circle, the writing on that.
Humans aren't horses.
That
was the last one. Remember, humans aren't horses.
Yeah, humans aren't horses. Humans are ... And it leaves it open for people to just kind of like fill in the blank for whatever the fuck they want.
Right.
But that writing is insane, dude. It's so fucking good to where it's like the first part of the season gets a bad rap, but the second really brings everything in full circle. So if you didn't watch it and you got this completely spoiled and you don't care, watch it from the beginning to the end, and you will get a full fucking phenomenal story that I will argue is better than the first season.
Remember who Gi-hung faced in the Squid Game in the first season? It was his best friend, but it was also the rational guy. Remember, that was the one who kept thinking of all the strategies, the odds. He was always he was always an undercutting kind of. He didn't really portray himself as a villain until late into the show when he set up Ali, when he set up the Indian guy. Then the audience hated his guts when he tricked him into that. But even that could have been explained, right? It's a game where people have to die. It wasn't until he really got deep into the dinner and all that stuff when he is true villain mode. 333 MC Coin in this current season was also smart guy, business oriented, rational dude, kind of played both sides. Didn't really give you the impression that he was evil or a villain, just kind of a dickhead and a douchebag and an arrogant piece of shit. But not really someone that you would look at and go, yeah, he's a murderous asshole, until things escalate, and all of a sudden, who's the last guy to face against Gi-hung? It was MC Coin. And there's a theory online where people were saying, everyone hated Thanos, but what if Thanos was the only one that saw him for the douchebag he really was in the first place? He's such an out-of-control ass that you look at those two people and you go, oh yeah, Thanos is clearly the dick. But everything Thanos said about him ended up being very fucking true. Even down to the point of holding his own daughter over a cliff, threatening to kill the baby if Gi-hung doesn't fucking surrender himself. So, the way that they put this whole fucking thing together is just fucking amazing, top to bottom. The piece of shit Afro son who couldn't get out of his own fucking way, who spent a whole 30 minutes walking around strangers he'd never met before, that he didn't have the guts to take out, but then with the seconds counting down, he's willing to murder a mother and her baby. But the shining MVP to me, my favorite character. You said yours was the old lady 149. That was a great pick. Mine's is 120. Hyung Ji. I'll never forget the transsexual one.
Oh my God, that's my number 2. That's my wife's number 1.
She was about that life. She was ready for it. She was fucking ready. I tell you what,
she went out like a fucking G.
Yes,
bro.
sir.
She was
that
hide and seek game.
Yes, sir.
The first game was her game too. The one, the relay that
the Pantheon. Yeah.
But this, bro.
Listen.
Was fucking Rambo
when she put the keys in her shirt and fucking knuckled up, was ready for the smoke. That was it. That's all I needed to see, son.
So good.
I was like, oh, she's going for it. And then the killer part when she finds the door, and she opens the door and she sees the way out, and she goes back.
For a second, though, hold on. For a second, you saw it in her face. It was right there.
Uh-huh.
I thought for a moment she was just going to shut the door. Like, that's the look she had on her face. And then she turned around.
And she went back.
Oh, it was but a second.
And she went back. And she went and she tried to save her friends. And that was it. That was the end of that. Of all the heartbreaking moments of this entire show, that was the one that killed me. I was like,
and the person who killed her.
MC Coin. I know.
He didn't have to. See, that's the thing. See, this is why the writing is insane. Yeah. Because he didn't have to kill her.
Yeah. He was already saved.
He was good.
Yeah, he was good. No, but see, that goes, and I'm going to talk about that next, as a matter of fact, because I think this is another element to the show that makes it so great. The games. The games are, I don't know how many times I've watched Squid Games with people, or in my own house with Steph, and I pause it, because we've got to talk about strategy. Because before he killed 120, and before him and Crazy Dude came up with the idea of teaming up together, just clearly when they were in the room and they were going over the rules, I paused it immediately and I told Steph, I said, okay, I get this, right? So the blue team is going to hide. The red team will seek. The red team has the knives and the blue team have the keys. They can escape any which way that they can, but the red team can kill anybody they want except for other reds. That's it. But the whole goal of the game is to eliminate as many people as possible. So if it's even numbered from red to blue, yes, you only need to kill one to continue on to the next round. But if you eliminate more than one blue, it's a possibility you're also eliminating reds without attacking them. That increases the pot. So me and Steph right off bat was like, listen, I'm murdering any blue I could find, period. That was the first thing we said. And then as the whole game progressed, and then that's how it ended with him killing 120, I was like, I immediately take back my strategy. You shouldn't have done that, you son of a bitch. God damn it. Why'd you make me fucking have to? That was my strategy, and now it sucks because this person's that I wanted to keep alive.
I'm not going to hold you. When that happened, a big piece of my wife was kind of checked out of the show.
Oh.
She was so, like, visibly.
Is that what she posted about being mad?
Was that probably if she was talking about Squid Games? Yeah,
yeah. That she said,
dude,
yeah.
She was it. She died inside when that happened, dude.
Oh,
that was her favorite character. Dude.
And then right immediately after that, the old lady died. Right, like immediately.
That
after
was
that,
my It was back. It was not a good couple. It was not because that broke, dude. I'm not gonna hold you. I had tears. Like I was actually in tears.
Yeah.
When she told
I
the
teared
story,
up when Hung Ji, the number 120, when she died. I teared up too because that face. She made that face too, like that realization that she got stabbed. Mm-hmm. Like that face she made was like a perfect. That was like, not to include wrestling terms, but what a great sell. Like that sell, that face she made, and then she collapsed to the ground and.
I mean, it was that story of like, well, so I forget exactly. Maybe you can refresh my memory, but I remember she was like rushed. She said she was rushing her son to the hospital and praying to God that if she saves him, I forget what it was. I forget what the promise was.
Oh, the old lady. Yeah.
Yeah, and the son survived. Only to fast forward. And she was the one who fucking killed her son.
Well,
So
there's more to that context because the reason why he OD'd on the pills was because she finally snapped on him verbally.
Yes, there you go.
He had been such a bitch his whole life
yes.
and had done so many inappropriate and wrong things that she just couldn't take the shame of it anymore, and she got on him. And then he went home and cleared out his medicine cabinet, and that's when she said, you know, if you save him, I'll be good, I'll be better, or whatever. And that's when the road and the process of her coddling him every day afterwards started, which obviously made everything worse because all of a sudden now it's like there's no boundaries now because the mom feels so guilty that he went to the hospital the first time. She refuses to see it, even down to the games. Remember in the games when they were doing Mingle in the ring around the Rosies and all that stuff, they were together for most of the games, and then there's one scene where they said one number, I forgot what number it was, and a bunch of dudes grabbed him and left her, and he fought off for a bit, but then he kind of just like went with it, and then the front man and Gi-hung grabbed the old lady, went into the room, and everybody's safe. When they're in the room, the front man goes, "Where's your son? He didn't take you?" And then she's just trying to explain it. Oh, we got mixed up, and and he kept pushing, like, but he didn't come looking for you or whatever. And then she took it as like an attack. She got defensive, and she started cursing him out. And he was, "You're right. That was my mistake. I overstepped or whatever." But that's how far it goes. She knows in her heart. You can see it in her face. He left her. She knows it, but she's so riddled with guilt that
she felt almost like she deserved it.
She forgave him almost instantly. When they came out of the rooms and he was crying and he was contrite and he was just like, "I'm so sorry, Mom." And she was just like, no, don't worry about it. Because that's how deep it went. We didn't understand it at the time of that scene.
Know it. Yeah,
but when she explained to Gi-hung later what that relationship was like, it made all that other stuff that happened between them make sense. Even down to the arguing when we first meet them. Because he joined the Squid Games to settle his debt. She joined to settle his debt. She didn't know that they were going to do it at the same time. So when we first meet them, they're arguing about that fact. But even then, she would only argue to a point. She was very apprehensive about pushing him too far. And now we find out at the end why. Because the one time she did push too far, he took it too far and he almost killed himself. So, like, you have to, like, watch you have to, like, figure out the patterns. It was, like, the same thing with MC Coin. he looks like midway through the season like he's going to rise above all the bad decisions, right? He's talking to John He, 222. Oh, we're going to get out of here, start a whole new life. And he's talking all this sweet stuff. We're going to raise the baby, da, da, da. But the more the season continues on, the more she keeps pushing him away. And there were people that were just like, I don't understand why she's pushing him away. He's trying. He's making an effort. She saw through the bullshit. And as his character developed, we started to see what she saw. He never gave a shit about that baby. It was never... The baby got in the way. He did love her as long as he got to do what he wanted to do with his life. So every time she pushed him away, he made effort. But after she injured her ankle and she had the baby, and then that last event with the jump rope, when she just surrendered in her head, there's no way I survived this. Of all the fucking games, you want me to do a jumping game on one foot. So, this is not going to fucking work. He pleaded with her that second time. But he never showed, if you look back on all the scenes, never showed a shit about the kid. The one scene where he kind of thinks about the kid is the first time because she gave birth in hide and seek. So when they leave hide and seek, she's holding the baby. Remember, everyone made a face when she came out with the baby. No one saw her give birth. That first time he heard that baby cry, he does react to it. And at first you would think, oh, maybe he's reacting to the sound of the baby because that's his baby girl. He just heard his baby for the first time. Maybe that's going to affect him. But if you think about it timeline-wise, his behavior got worse after the birth. And that's probably because he's probably saying to himself, oh, thank goodness, the baby's out. Now I could just have her again. Because that's all he really cared about. Once she killed herself in jump rope, all bets were fucking off. He didn't give a fuck. He knew that was his baby the whole time. So when they were at dinner discussing who they should kill, he knew the entire conversation they were threatening to kill his kid. He didn't give a fuck. It was all strategy. No, let's kill 125, the cokehead. Then we'll kill this fucking guy, and then we'll toss the fucking baby, or whatever the fuck the plan was. He didn't give a shit. But the way they wrote his character, it was very up and down. Unless you're really paying attention to him thoroughly, you could miss some of it. He didn't really reveal his true fucking villainy until right there toward the fucking end. And Gi-hung had to be faced with it because he didn't know that was the dad to the baby until he stepped up and said something, and then Gi-hung put it together when he saw them talking earlier. But he was prepared to defend the baby against its own father. Meanwhile, the father's holding the baby over the fucking edge of the cliff as fucking a negotiating tool. So,
and to your point too, when he found out, when Gi-hung told him that he made a promise to her, do you remember his response? Nothing about the baby.
Yeah.
Oh, you had something with her, didn't you? Like he got annoyed thinking that he did something with his girl.
Yeah.
He's like, oh,
you had a history with her, didn't you?
Yeah, you have a history now. Yeah, it's like, bro.
Yeah,
bruh, I'm holding your kid here. You've been watching me holding this chick, and you have said nothing this whole time.
He didn't give a shit about it. He was the true villain of the story. Now let's talk about the sacrifice. So it all ends with Gi-hung giving his final speech, proving his point one more time to the front man that humans are not horses, and he eliminates himself from the competition so that 222 can stay alive to save the baby. Now, here's the thing about this. In all honesty, I don't know if you've seen some of the videos. There were people who were putting together AI videos of how it should have ended, and it's all videos of him tossing the baby and then going to go see his daughter. Because this is the beautiful part about this show, because as brutal as this show is, I don't think I know a single person, besides maybe you, depending on how you feel, because I've talked to a bunch of people since the show ended. You would be difficultly surprised at how many people were okay with the idea of just tossing the fucking kid.
I'm throwing the fuck out that
That's
baby.
what I'm saying. There you go. See?
I'm shot putting that baby off the fucking
many
thing.
people who were just like, I'm throwing the baby. I'm sorry. I'm throwing the baby. Because, Jesus fucking Christ, what are we really talking about here? That baby was born literally yesterday. The The mother's not alive anymore. The father's not alive anymore. And so there were a lot of people. And that was to the director's point. Because in the director's mind, and maybe he's right, the good thing to do is what that character did. Sacrifice himself so that the baby has a chance. But in all honesty, there are so many people right now that looked at that and just went, that was dumb. I would have tossed that. I would have did a Joe Namath spiral. I would have went for the wall.
And if that was his idea, I will say that I don't disagree with him.
No.
With the idea of that could have been the right thing to do. But the funny part is, my immediate reaction to that is, I'm not going to kill myself for a baby that nobody in this world knows outside of these walls.
Yeah.
And that no one's going to tell, so that I don't get to see my daughter anymore. Like, it wasn't even the money. Money never came to my mind in that situation. The money was a thing. He would have doubled down and been like double the rich he was. But to me, in my brain, like, I wasn't even thinking about that. I'm not killing myself so that my daughter doesn't have a father when the parents of this baby that nobody knows and no one's going to know. No, I'm not doing, like, I'm not taking myself away from my daughter because of that. Like, that's where I went with it, which is why when you got to the end where he gave his previous winnings to his kid, that shit fucked me up, dude. Like, it was bad. Like, seeing his daughter's reaction to the, like, fuck that guy, I don't want to hear about him. Like, he's a piece of shit. He doesn't talk to me, doesn't care. To, yeah, lady, listen, whatever. I don't care. Like, look, take this box. Nick, he's gone. Like, he's dead.
Yeah, he said that he passed away. Yeah.
And her whole mood changed.
Yeah.
So, and then she was like, oh, and now she's sat forever. So, like, there's all kinds of, like, money, father gone, emotional, the guy was a piece of shit. Like, so many things happen there. But the thought of, I mean, I don't know, maybe I have a daughter, so maybe that's why it, like, hit me a little bit. But I'm like, dude, the thought of that made me double down on, I'm yeeting this kid off this fucking cliff. I'm gonna go buy all the houses surrounding my daughter and then fucking live in each one in each day just so that I can see her through a window.
I wish they would be able to confirm this, but would that have made him the first ever back-to-back winner?
Damn. Double champ.
That
Universal.
would have been crazy.
Undisputed.
He'd have been a GOAT instantly. Goated.
And he would have been the last one because they kind of got rid of the area.
Well, let's talk about that, actually.
Baby.
And this is where my anger rose. So, you kind of jumped into it, right? So, the frontman's actual character name was Inho, and he has a younger brother, the detective, which I can't remember his name, who spends this whole season just confused. I don't know what the fuck was the point of this whole thing. But I spent the whole time wondering, what the fuck is the point of him being on this boat for 2 straight seasons? But then the ending kind of made it make sense. The fact that he didn't find the front man till the very last episode kind of made it make sense. And what we're talking about here is when Gi-hung sacrifices himself, he leaves the baby on the Squid Game platform. We hear which I personally believe will be the now iconic sound of the voice actor saying, "Player 456, eliminated." Because that's the one number we've never heard eliminated, 456. It's the last player to ever be eliminated in this version of the games, right? So the baby's just fucking laying there. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, who's going to go get the baby, right? The front man actually is the guy who ends up getting the baby. He picks up the baby, and his brother breaks through the glass. He's shouting on him, why? Why would you do this? And he just kind of lowers down. He had a chance to kill his brother, but he didn't take it. So 2 seasons of looking for his brother. He finally sees him for like 10 seconds, and he dips off. For the record, folks, we don't ever see that baby again. Frontman has the baby, disappears. The island has been rigged to explode, And the last scene that we see is Gi Hung's prone dead body at the bottom, and we see a reflection off his eyes of the explosions happening above him. And for the record, that made me eternally even more sad that after everything he did to try to stop the games, his body will now rest in the rubble of those games forever. That's where he will rest now. He got into that limo and went back into the games and never left. That's a sad thing for me. But from there, when the Coast Guard comes in, they're doing their thing. We skip ahead to the front man in his limousine heading down the streets of Los Angeles. Now that I've been there, Jesus, unimpressed, right? So, yes, we get introduced to Gi Hung's daughter, who has aged a little bit. It's been a few years now. You explain the whole scene. She's pissed off about her dad even being mentioned, and he gave her the box. And the box not only contained the jumpsuit, but it contained...
Covered in blood.
Covered in blood. The card with the remaining funds in it. Which, I don't know if that helps her at all, because that card was set to have Korean money in it, the won, and she lives in L.A., so I don't know if she's going to get...
You can convert.
I'm going to say, I don't know if she's going to get hit with an interest rate for that. I don't know if that helped her or hurt her. I don't know.
Let me tell you something. Whatever dreams you have, do it in Korea.
Yeah.
We're buying a flight. We're going back. Like, what do you... We'll build something and then fucking go.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, like, get over it. You can practice whatever the fuck it is over there.
Yeah. So we meet that... And actually, I just did the conversion now. 46 billion won is $32 million.
Not bad.
Not bad. For just waking up that morning and getting a card in a box.
You're gonna get taxed the fuck. You're getting like 15 of it.
So as the front man leaves, that's tax free, baby. They don't know about that money. That's tax free. As the front man leaves the daughter's home, he then parks his vehicle near an alley where two figures.
I think he was just in traffic.
Oh, I thought it was specific to just that alley. No, okay, but
no. I think he was just in traffic, and then he looked down the alley. I could be wrong, but I don't think he parked.
As he looks through the window, he sees two people playing Daki, and he's staring. He's looking, and it's a older white guy, and he gets the shit slapped out of him. And the person that slapped him turns, and it's fucking Cate Blanchett.
I'm so mad that I don't know who that is. Because I feel like that should have been a moment.
Yeah, you've seen her in movies before, but she's an Oscar winner. She's a hell of an actress. I'll give it to her. She stares at the front man. Front man stares back. Front man gives her a nod. And the guy who she just slapped goes, well, let's go again. She goes, as you wish. So as, she's being a recruiter. Now, upon watching just that scene... Because that's how it ends. The last scene of Squid Games is fucking Cate Blanchett. I was red hot. Red hot. I was punch a hole in the wall hot. And people, now mind you, I didn't see it the exact day that it came out. This was a few days later. So people were already kind of trying to explain. Well, remember in season 1 when the VIPs were talking, they said that the Korean games were their favorite, which indicated there were other games in other places and that the Korean ones they felt were like the best, But there's games all around the world. Okay, fine, granted. Games all around the world, fine. But immediately after that episode aired, all of the information from Netflix all started flooding out and everyone was sharing it around. There was a director by the name of David Fincher who had done some Blumhouse stuff. He's done some thrillers and some horror movies in his time. He's made some pretty notable films. And it was announced that he's going to be helming an American version of Squid Games. And I immediately felt fucking disgust. Down to my fucking core. How fucking dare you bitches even think or can conceive of the idea that you motherfuckers think you have what it takes to fucking copy this. Go fuck yourself. You're gonna fucking ruin this shit. You already started off wrong with me. Cate Blanchett as the fucking... Listen to me. This ain't The Office, bitch. You can't just go around stealing everybody's shit and thinking that you're going to do something with this. And then the rumor mill, right? Because now everyone's talking. Oh, If they were able to get her to be the recruiter, think of all the A-list people they can get for the... No. Granted, the actor who played Gi-hung, the player 456, and the actor who played the frontman are relatively really famous actors. The guy who played 456 is considered a legend in acting in Korea, and he's dabbled in some English-speaking movies, and and the frontman was fucking in G.I. Joe, and like he's done American movies. Like they've crossed over. They have some celebrity to them. But Squid Games, while they have very talented actors who are probably well known for what they do in their home country, I personally believe that one of the best aspects of this show is that they had a tremendous amount of talent came to this show with a bunch of people I did not know. That allowed me to immerse myself into these characters because I don't have any other preconceived notions of them. The only thing I know about that old lady who played 149 is that she's the old lady who played 149. It makes it easier for me to kind of slip into the fact that she was playing this really serious and dramatic character. These motherfuckers in the United States are going to fuck this up. There's going to be a Kardashian in there and a fucking... There's going to be a football player in there. Floyd Mayweather's going to be in there.
It's going to be Scream 2.
It's going to be fucking stupid. Keenan Ivory Wayans is going to be in there.
Another problem is, like, we're also getting this, and maybe, I don't know how it hits in Korea, but for us, we're getting a whole nother culture. So everything's new. Their mannerisms, the way they carry themselves.
They played classic.
We know how Americans are.
Yeah.
So I can already kind of picture how this is going to be.
This is going to be
I
fucking
hope the
terrible.
Koreans love it because
the fucking Koreans. The Koreans are going to fucking laugh. They're going to laugh. They played traditional Korean games. Like the Squid Game is a traditional children's kids game. Here in America, what the fuck are we gonna play here? Jacks? Like tic-tac-toe? What the fuck are we gonna play here? Skip it? Bop it? Like what the fuck are we gonna do here? We just did the Toys Hall of Fame. Are we gonna do sticks, hula hoops,
dirt?
Dirt, sand, bubbles. What the fuck are we gonna do here?
Rocks.
We're gonna ride radio flyer wagons down a hill. What the fuck are we gonna do? Do you really?
We're gonna play baseball.
Yeah, baseball. Yeah, we're gonna hire. Matthew McConaughey is gonna be player 224. He's gonna win a pie eating contest. What the fuck are we talking about? This is gonna be fucking ridiculous. This is gonna be fucking ridiculous.
But what if it's fire?
It's not gonna. I have very low zero hope. Zero hope. The person who's gonna run the game is gonna be Anne Hathaway. This is gonna be fucking bananas. Bananas. You understand what I'm telling you? This is gonna be fucking crazy.
There's a lot of pressure here because you're Americanizing it, which
never fucking works. Never works.
Also, you're coming off of the idea of you're like gonna have to. You're either going to not copy the archetypes, which you run the risk of being too different, or you do copy the archetypes, where then now if your story writing isn't strong enough, then you're just copycatting because Squid Game itself almost cannibalized itself with its archetypes if it wasn't for the pristine writing.
Yeah.
So
yes, exactly. They pigeonholed
and
themselves
the
a few
pristine
times.
acting. So I don't dare. This is tough. He's got big balls because I don't care. I don't know, man. I don't know if I would accept this. This is tough. This
is not going to go well. They won't be able to fucking resist. They won't. It's gonna be. They're gonna pick. It's the same tropes.
You're gonna have like advertisements. You're gonna have like Verizon on one of the walls.
Oh my fucking god!
This Squid Game is brought to you by T-Mobile.
Yeah, that's the exact company I had in my head, dude. Our red light, green light room was gonna have Budweiser advertisements on the wall. This is gonna be fucking crazy. One of the Paul brothers is gonna be in this shit.
They're gonna have dude wipes on the wall.
Dude wipes. Jesus fucking at the bottom of the pit. The bottom of the pit when they fall and they do that scan of the dead bodies, they say dude wipes in the back. Jesus Christ. This
If we don't have an American Warrior throwback game.
Oh my God,
then
imagine.
they're doing it wrong.
Oh my God. This Glass Bridge game is sponsored by Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Holy shit, we're in trouble. We're in trouble,
afford
folks.
Apple Jacks.
We sat here and said, I don't think they rent their services out. They have too much pride. They're not going to touch Squid Games. You kidding? American Squid Games? Oh, and I saw the proposed name, Squid Games USA. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. How dare you? How dare you?
USA.
God damn it.
God bless
my
America.
God,
Nowhere else.
And nowhere.
That was that Chris Rock movie, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, man, he was running for president. Yeah. Jesus Christ. One more thing before we go, because I think we pretty much ran through the fucking gauntlet of all this shit.
God damn.
The games. Right? What was your favorite game, dude? You got to have a favorite game.
Hide and seek, man.
Hide and seek?
Because it was fucked, and they knew it was fucked. First of all, you had daggers, sharp ass. You're talking like the Green Ranger size fucking daggers.
I saw that.
Of just straight razor. Like the dude barely nicked his finger, and he was fucking bleeding. The other guys are like, "Oh, you get to escape." They didn't fucking tell them they needed all 3 keys. They had to learn that in the moment.
In the game.
And then when you see, dude, I got chills watching that shit because someone made mention to it that they're going to be animals. And there's a scene where they let them go into the room when they start the game. And you see like 6 of them hit a fucking corner. And they're all just like, thirsting for blood. Oh my, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
That's the scariest game.
They're coming
especially if
for
you're
you.
the hunted.
They're coming for
Holy
you.
Shit, dude.
Oh man, yeah. Fucking nuts. Yeah, the hide and seek thing was pretty fucking intense, not gonna lie. The jump rope was pretty intense too. Even with 2 good legs. Like especially that strategy where the guy was like, as soon as they come over, I'm just gonna shove him off. I'm like, God damn, he's brilliant.
that turn was good. For a random person like we didn't fucking know about, that was such a good moment.
That was his only moment in the whole show.
It was so good. It shifted everything. Yeah. Like at some point, like it really changed. The other one I would say my favorite one was the merry-go-round. Where you had where it spawned, they played music, and then they had to find the room.
6 people in the room. Yeah.
Crazy.
That Panthelon, the 6-legged race, that was pretty fucking good.
The games were good, dude.
The games were so good. I'm buying that pack, by the way. I found it on Amazon. They sell all 5 games. The Stone and the Gongji and all that stuff. I'm buying that.
Oh
shit.
yeah, when you do, we're doing
it, dude. I want to fucking.
I want to do the one where you drop like the jacks like game.
Yes, Gongji.
Pick it up in order.
Gongji.
That's
the
one.
I figured
that's the one where I saw. I was like, dude, if I had to pick any of these to do, it would. I think I can do that one.
I probably could have done the Genji, the kicking of the. When you have to kick the thing 5 times in the air, boom, 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 boom. I might be able to pull it. And the stone's throw, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll see. It might be harder than you think, or it might be harder than I think. I guess. I saw this. There's a lady online who was like watching the show. She was like, "Oh, I used to play that when I was a kid." They're like, "Really?" And they bought it for her, and she fucking smoked it. It's online. Where she was just like, "Pa, pa, 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 pa." I was like, "Oh fuck!"
I think the hardest one was the spinny top. I don't think I could.
I don't think I could roll it up. I don't think I could get the rope around the fucking top.
Dude, that spinny top gave me fucking anxiety, dude.
Oh my god, yeah. There's a
So
lot going
good.
on there.
Anyway, shame it's over, but it's over.
It's over. I already expressed my dislike for the concept of it becoming an American property. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. I would literally want to give it to. Throw a dart. I would rather have any other country try, except for England, because they're basically us, just older. Just any fucking. If they gave it to fucking England, I think Pierce Brosnan or something would be in the fucking. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Give it to Australia, dude. That'd be a
They'd
fucking
kill it.
bloodbath.
They'd kill it. I'd give it to Australia.
That'd be
They'd
a
kill
fucking bloodbath.
They'd kill it.
You kidding me?
Actually, let's turn the whole thing around. Give it to India and have it all be Indians and then one Korean in there. Just flip it.
That would be Indians would be another good one.
No,
dude.
but give him the one Korean. Justice for Ali. Give him give him the one Korean. All right, this particular episode was a longer one, but that was because I think we were a little pent up, a little backed up. We trying to get all of our ideas out there, but that's all right. Big announcement. I was going to do it at the end of the SummerSlam moments, but I really wanted to get into the Squid Game stuff. But big announcement here. Me and the guy talked it over here, and we're going to get started on the promotion early. 15 days from today. We're recording this Tuesday, July 15th. 15 days, 2 weeks to the day. Wednesday, July 30th. The birthday of the 30th birthday, is it not? No, 30? Is 95, 05, 15, 20. Yeah, 30. Lily's 30th birthday is on the 30th, and we will be live. We are going live. We're talking about SummerSlam. Pombo's already signed on. He's good to go. Our boy Murder Is Bad will be back on the air with us. And I got a special personal guest of mine that has never been on the show before. I'm hoping he can join us. He's gonna try to figure out his work situation so he can join us. But Wednesday, July 30th, 7 p.m., we're going to be on the air talking SummerSlam. That's why I'm doing the moments now. Last time we did WrestleMania, that was like a 4-hour show. We're not doing that. It was too many matches to talk about. I was trying to squeeze shit in. That's not a good idea. This SummerSlam is 2 nights, so I don't want to bullshit around with that. I'm sick of trying to skirt around it. We have 2 nights worth of shit to talk about, and I got 2 hours to do it in. So no more of the other stuff. We're talking SummerSlam 2025. Everything between now and that pay-per-view, we'll talk SummerSlam stuff. But at that fucking show on the 30th, we're only talking about SummerSlam 2025. So if you want to chime in, you want to be a part of the chat, you want to be a part of the crew, having the conversation about what's going to happen, what's going to go down, predictions, what the deal is, then join us July 30th, 7 p.m. It's going to be a hootenanny, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So we're starting the promotion as early as tomorrow. I'm going to make all that stuff up so everybody knows, and we should be 100% good to go. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for downloading. Thank you guys for sharing. And, of course, thank you guys for enjoying episode 315. We're going to be back on our regular schedule, folks. Regular schedule. So thanks for joining us.
Mic drop. Wait a minute. This is too much. Cooking it like a pro. Wrap it up, everybody. Show's over.